Johnny Dollar.
Johnny, this is George Reed.
Well, hiya, George. How's dear old Floyd's of England these days?
If you read the Wall Street Journal, Johnny...
If I what?
What?
Nothing. Just keep talking, plutocrat.
Well, according to the financial reports, the leading insurance companies are doing better than ever. And I'm proud to say that Floyd's of England is among the leaders. Does that answer your question?
So, as head of the North American office, the company has given you a big fat raise?
No.
And you'd like to celebrate by taking me out to dinner tonight?
No such luck.
Just name the time and place, and I'll... What'd you say?
Listen, Johnny, you'll get far more than a free meal out of this. And you are available.
Completely.
All right. I have a problem, a rather unusual one.
Have you ever handed me one that wasn't?
Well, of course Well...
Never. So what's it all about?
Well, I fully realize you're somewhat averse to acting as a bodyguard.
George.
But I assure you, this situation is somewhat unusual.
You said that.
Therefore...
And it doesn't change my feeling about these bodyguard assignments.
At least come over here and talk about it, will you?
Oh, sure, if you're willing to pay my taxi fare for nothing.
For nothing, eh?
That's right.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Floyd's of England, North American Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the empty threat matter. These so-called unusual problems George Reed handed me were all too often dangerous. But it's a living, and so far I've been lucky. So, expense account item 1, $1.10, taxi fare to his office at Floyd's of England.
Come in, Johnny. Sit down.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
I'm glad to see you. Glad you could make it.
Well, I'm not so sure I am. What's it all about, George?
Charles Stockerly is our client's name. He's a retired attorney.
And somebody that he sent to the pen has got out now and is gunning for him.
Possibly.
Yeah. Where does he live?
He doesn't.
You want me to act as bodyguard for a dead man?
Well, I mean, he has no regular address. It's like this, Johnny.
Yeah, please, let's get on with it.
Stockerly had a highly successful career right here in Hartford. Married, brought up a couple of adopted youngsters. All in all, managed to live the good life. Except perhaps for the fact he worked too hard.
So?
Now, mind you, I don't mean to imply that he ever went off his rocker, but when his beloved wife died a couple of years ago, and with that worthless, hateful son of his still around to worry him...
Adopted, you say?
Yes, both young Andrew and his married sister Joyce. She's a wonderful girl, by the way.
So what about him?
Nothing. I simply mentioned them in passing. The point is, Mr. Stockerly has quite a bit of insurance, which is why he didn't hesitate to contact me regarding these apparent attempts on his life.
You kind of punched that word apparent.
Because when he first told me about this thing, considering his extremely upset and nervous condition, well, frankly, I didn't take him too seriously.
Is he an older man?
In his early 60s. But now, apparently, and I use that word again, these threats have become very real, which is why he's been running away.
Running away?
Well, I told you he has no permanent address. And now that he's demanded your protection, that you stop whoever is trying to kill him, if somebody really is.
All right, where is he, George?
At the moment, in Tahiti.
Tahiti?
Yes, living in the seaport town of Papeete. Well?
George.
Yes?
I don't want this job, no one bit.
Oh, now, Johnny.
But I'll take it on. For just one reason.
Yes?
All my life, I've dreamed about someday seeing Tahiti. Item 2 on the expense account includes $8 plane fare, Hartford to New York City. $785.30 to the Fiji Islands. Then we'll call it a total of $850 for plane tickets and a handful of incidentals. It took over a full day of flying for me to reach the town of Nandi on the western shore of the little Pacific island of Viti Levu. But it was a lot better than a couple of weeks aboard a steamer. Another hop took me across the island to Suva. And there, well, it's picture postcard country, all of it. Vast, heavy tropical forests. Millions, billions of beautiful blossoms everywhere. Picturesque South Sea villages full of thatched huts, palm-lined beaches, and the magnificent clear blue water breaking over reefs of coral. The people, fascinating, many of them East Indians. The women dressed in saris, the men wearing large white turbans. And there were plenty of the native Fijians with their wild, wiry, bushy hair that seems to stand on end. From Suva was an overnight flight to Papeete in a flying boat. A lot of travel time, a lot of expense, but certainly worth it. Tahiti, with its black sand beaches and coconut palms, its tremendous carpet of tropical foliage and flowers, from the shoreline back to the mountains, the soft, almost caressing climate. Oh, yeah, it's really an ideal place to get away from it all. Sound nice? You want to go there? Well, it made me want to stay there. Yeah, it's the one place I found where I could really completely relax. And I made up my mind to take the fullest possible advantage of it, job or no job. I learned that Mr. Charles Stockley, the man who'd sent for me, lived in a small bamboo house near the water's edge within easy walking distance of the hotel where I'd registered. But my nice, idyllic dream was quickly shattered when I found him there. When I found what was left of him.
Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Mr. Stockley?
Just 1 minute, please.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Mr. Stockley?
No, I am Dr. Bentley.
Oh, well, I'm Johnny Dollar, a special investigator that he... Is that Mr. Stockley?
Yes, it is.
What happened? Who did this to him? Is he still alive?
Yes, Mr. Dollar. He's resting as a result of a sedative I've given him.
But he looks as though he... All right, what happened to him, Doctor?
He was up on the side of Ka Abu Mountain gathering flowers on a long and treacherous ledge when he noticed someone following him very furtively.
Oh?
Apparently, this someone did not wish to be seen by him. He kept getting closer and closer, but always in hiding.
Go on, Doctor.
Mr. Stockley realized it was someone there with no good intent. But as he sought to escape, stepping gingerly and carefully along the rim of the ledge, he isn't certain exactly what happened. He's quite sure he didn't slip. Rather that he was shoved by this someone from behind a bush. He fell about 60 feet down through the tangled brush and remained there overnight. Now, if one of the natives hadn't found him early this afternoon...
But he isn't sure he was pushed off there.
Oh, he's quite certain of it.
And that the man, the person he saw up there, wasn't just somebody else gathering flowers.
Mr. Dollar, if it weren't for his exhaustion, and, of course, the sedative I have given him, he would have fled this island immediately. You see, he's a very nervous and, I might say, apprehensive man.
Look, do you know of anyone who might want to harm Mr. Stockley?
Oh, certainly not, sir. Mr. Stockley, in spite of his nervous affliction, a constant kind of fear, I would say.
Yes, I know.
Why, he is one of the most highly regarded... Well, I am certain that no one, white or native...
Yeah, okay. Now, how long do you think he'll sleep?
Oh, until sometime late tomorrow morning.
All right, then I'd better plan on bunking down right here.
Tell me, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah?
Do you think that he is possibly in danger from someone?
Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. When I told the doctor of my job, he was completely cooperative. Helped me improvise a bed near Mr. Stockley's, and he had some food brought in for me. That and his fee for the care of Stockley came to $9. I didn't get much sleep that night. Every completely harmless sound around that little shack got me up with a start. Had I known what the morning was to bring, I might have asked the doctor for a sedative for myself. Promptly at 5:30 a.m., Stockley woke up. He was so worried, nervous, and excited, I thought he'd gone completely off his nut.
It's no use, Dollar. We got to get out of here. Yes, we must get away before he finds me again and kills me.
So we left on the morning plane. But it wasn't until we changed at Suva, then at Nandi, and finally started that long leg of our flight across the Pacific towards San Francisco that he calmed down long enough to tell me what it was all about, after a lot of irrelevant chatter about his family.
The death of my darling wife back in 1958 upset me terribly, Mr. Dollar. I confess I became a nervous wreck. Temporarily, that is. If it hadn't been for our adopted daughter, Joyce, a wonderful girl, I'd have lost my mind.
What about your adopted son? Wasn't he any help?
Andrew? Oh, never. I've given Andrew everything, Mr. Dollar. Too much. Education, money, investments that'll keep him wealthy for life. A bad mistake. He's never done a day's work in his life.
Yeah, well, now...
What's more, he's never shown the slightest sign of gratitude for love for his sister.
I see.
But Joyce, who asked for nothing in all her life, who worked to train herself, to support herself, and is now married to a fine young man.
Mr. Stockley...
Joyce has been nothing but a joy and comfort to me.
About these threats now.
That is why I never worried about the threats.
Yes.
They've been more than that. They've been attempts upon my life, like the one you nearly witnessed there in Tahiti, where I thought I'd finally found safety.
From whom, Mr. Stockley?
From whom? From whom? At home in Hartford, when I tried to tell the police, they wouldn't believe me. I suppose perhaps because of my nervous condition, but it must be Harry Linker.
Linker?
Yes, Linker. Years ago, I had him sent to prison. He swore he'd get even with me.
But look, don't they all make that kind
but
of
what
threat?
did the police say? That he's reformed now, that it must be someone else. But I knew he'd come back to kill me, and he has.
Oh, now listen.
Christmas threats over the telephone, right after Martha died, as I was about to leave for Europe.
Oh? And when you left, he stopped bothering you?
Stopped. It was in Paris that I heard from him again. It was in Paris, Mr. Dollar, that I narrowly escaped being run down in the street and by an American car.
But now look...
So I fled to London. But I should have known better than to walk the streets there alone at night. For it was there that only the intervention of a bobby kept me from being murdered by him after another warning.
But, Mr. Stockley...
In Jakarta, more threats. I found a poisonous reptile in my trunk. In Stockholm, I found the scorpions in my briefcase just in time.
Oh, now, please, look here, Mr. Stockley.
I've run and I've run, but he's kept coming after me. He attempted to poison my food, I'm sure of that.
Mr. Stockley.
And there in Tahiti. Yes?
Look, every one of those things could have been coincidence.
Coincidence?
So please, until we have some proof this man Linker is chasing you around...
The doctor told me that unless I am able to stop this mad flight, I'll kill myself. Perhaps even deliberately. What'll I do? Where can I go?
Well, right now, we're heading back to the States, back to Hartford.
What if he's following us?
Then maybe we'll find some proof against him.
Proof? By having me killed?
Look, you'd better take another of those pills the doctor left for you.
And you'll stay awake to protect me?
Yes, I promise. Coincidence? Why, sure it was. There at the San Francisco airport when the baggage truck ran out of control and almost hit us, almost hit him. Anyhow, I practically had to hold his hand on the rest of the trip to Hartford. There, I piled into my car, drove straight to my apartment, gave him a key, and had him go upstairs and wait for me while I put the car away in the garage at the back. It took me 3 trips up those stairs with the luggage, but then... There we are, all set.
Aren't you going to lock the door, Mr. Dollar?
Oh, please, now, don't worry. I've sprung the catch. Hey, did you pull down all those shades?
Of course I did.
Oh, look, as I told you on the phone, until we get some proof that this... here now. There, this place looks a little more cheerful. Holy...
There, do you see?
Now, Stockley.
What's the matter with you? Get away from that window. He thinks you're me.
Oh, no, please, listen. That must have been some kid with a little .22. Oops.
Now, do you believe me, Mr. Dollar?
Yeah, you got a point.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Empty Threat Matter.
I carefully dug one of the 38 slugs out of the wall, wrapped it in a handkerchief, then put in a fast call to Bill Peters, who was not only a good doctor, but, well, I told him to pack a gun into his medical kit. He arrived in short order and did what he could to quiet Mr. Stockley's nerves and agreed to stick around.
He'll sleep a little while now, Johnny.
Good.
But listen.
Yeah, Bill?
Did you hear him? You know, he's not kidding. This old coot's gonna take the leap unless we can...
Suicide?
Wouldn't put it one bit beyond him. Believe me. This whole business has him in pretty bad shape.
Oh, that just doesn't make sense, Bill.
Because he's been trying so hard to run away from this, killer or supposed killer.
Well, sure he has. And if he wanted to die,
Just
he's had...
brush up on your human psychology, boy.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Now, if you'll stick around, I'll get this bullet over to headquarters.
I'll be here.
At headquarters, they gave me the story that Stockley had said they would. A few years in the clink had changed Harry Linker. He was living a model life, running a store right here in Hartford. I called on Linker at his hardware store, and I must say he convinced me that he was behaving himself. He was even quite concerned about Mr. Stockley, offered to help us if he could. I called on Stockley's adopted daughter. Then I told her the whole situation.
Oh, this is a terrible thing, Mr. Dollar.
I know.
If only Daddy'd told me so I could have done something to help him.
Well, as soon as we clear this thing up.
I'll go to him right away.
No, just wait, please.
He needs me.
Well, you can probably help your father more than anyone else in the world, but not right away.
But you'll let me know the minute we can bring him here and take care of him.
Yes. Now, you're sure your husband would agree to that?
Of course. Yes, of course he would.
Oh, good. That's all I wanted to know.
You don't think my husband could be behind this? Why, Ed feels as much affection for Daddy as I do.
You'd better answer that phone, hadn't you?
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Hello? Why, yes, he's right here. Mr. Dollar.
Oh, thanks. Johnny Dollar.
I've been calling all over for you. This is Bill Peters, Johnny.
Yeah, Doc.
Listen, there was a phone call right after you left.
Oh?
Stockley was awake, and I made the mistake of letting him take it.
Yeah?
He listened for a second, got as white as a sheet, and then started yelling, no, you'll never get me.
Go on, Bill.
Then he slammed down the receiver and made a dive for the window.
Bill!
It's all right. I caught him in time.
Oh.
I gave him a stiff hypo, and, well, that's it. Johnny?
Suicide. What's the matter with me? I tore on over to George Reed's office at the insurance company.
Here you are, Johnny. Our copy of Mr. Stockley's policy.
Yeah, good. All right. Now, let me see if
As you'll note, his adopted daughter, Joyce, is the sole beneficiary.
Yeah, I see. But Andrew, the adopted son, is specifically omitted.
Irrevocably. So if you think he might have anything to gain by Mr. Stockley's death, you're wrong.
Huh? Look. Here it is. The suicide clause.
Well, of course.
All right. So maybe Andrew couldn't get any of Stockley's money. But if that old man killed himself, neither could Joyce. And believe me, Andrew would love that.
Oh?
So, these attempts on the old man's life, were they? Were they really?
What?
Or were they just part of a long, drawn-out, careful campaign to drive him off his rocker, make him kill himself?
But if that's
Can
true...
anybody prove that Andrew actually tried to kill him? No. In spite of all sorts of opportunity, and with plenty of money to follow him all over the world, to plague him, to worry him, to... All right. Where does he live, George? Andrew, I mean. Have you got his address?
Well, yes,
Then give it to me, quick. Travel stickers, huh? On all his luggage. From all the places Mr. Stockley has been.
Yes, I suppose I should have taken them off my luggage.
Mm-hmm. They are going to hang you, Andrew.
Do you think for 1 minute that you or the police can ever prove I actually tried to kill my foster father? Because I didn't.
Maybe they won't need to.
Now, just a minute.
Maybe this is one time I'd better take the law into my own hands.
No, now, stand back.
Oh, yeah, I see. But you'd better let me have that gun, Andy, so the police can compare it with the slug I dug out of the wall.
What?
This is the gun you used to throw a couple of shots through the window of my apartment.
That was your apartment where he went?
That's right.
But it was you who drove him over there in the car.
That's right.
But you left him there, and I thought...
Just long enough to put my car away. And I'm the one who almost got nicked by those shots of yours. And I don't like that, Andy.
Stand back, I say.
You better give me that gun.
No.
Because if you try to use it now, you will be in trouble.
Listen, Dollar.
Yeah.
Randy. Randy, jump.
All I hope is they lock that bird up for the rest of his life. And that somehow Joyce and her husband can bring the poor old man back to normal. Expense account total? Hold your hat. It's $2,561 even. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, a story of real intrigue, plus a couple of the most intriguing characters I ever met. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, G. Stanley Jones, Ben Wright, Ralph Moody, Harry Bartell, and Carlton G. Young. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is John Wall speaking.
This is the CBS Radio Network. You're tuned to Radio 590 WROW in Albany, New York.
Johnny Dollar.
Johnny.
Yes? Hello?
George Reed, Floyd's of England.
Oh, what's the matter, George? You sound a bit down in the mouth.
I am.
What's up?
Well, Johnny, I understand you've handled quite a few investigations for the Continental Insurance and Trust Company.
Oh, brother, I sure have. And you know something, George?
Yes?
Floyd's of England, you that is, have handed me some pretty wild ones over the years.
I know.
But believe me, they've been nothing compared to some of the cases that Continental has handed me. And you know why, George?
Why, Johnny?
Because of just one client of theirs.
Well,
He's a wealthy old screwball by the name of Alvin Peabody Cartwright.
Cartwright.
Yeah, he carries a lot of insurance, millions of it. And any company that has his account is making plenty.
Yes,
But, brother,
I know.
the fantastic problems that man comes up with. Why, it's enough to drive you off your rocker. I mean, I'm always the goat. Yeah, I handled one crazy investigation for him only 3 or 4 weeks ago.
So I understand.
He told Continental that if they sent somebody else around, he'd leave him flat.
Johnny.
Actually, I suppose I shouldn't complain. Some of the biggest fees I've ever got have come out of his pocket. And you know something?
Yes, Johnny?
In spite of all his wackiness and these silly problems he hands me, well, over the years, I've really gotten to love the old character. And I mean, aside from those fancy fees I mentioned.
Good,
Yeah,
I'm glad
I think I'd do almost anything, within reason, that is, if it were necessary to help out Alvin Peabody Cartwright.
Anything?
Sure, anything.
Thank heaven for that.
But now you said you have troubles, George.
I have.
So I'm sorry I chewed your ear off about someone that Floyd's of England doesn't have to worry about, so...
Don't we, Johnny?
Huh? Well, of course not, because as long as he keeps his insurance with Continental... Unless... George.
Unless... what, Johnny?
Well, I mean, if he were to change companies for some... Oh, now, wait.
Yes?
George.
I'm still here.
Just who is your problem?
I'm afraid you've guessed it.
Oh, no.
Yes, Johnny. Alvin Peabody Cartwright.
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
And now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Floyd's of England, North American Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Alvin's Alfred matter. The assignments George Reed usually handed to me were usually bad enough. But a combination of both George and Alvin Peabody Cartwright could be just a little too thick. Anyhow, expense account item $1, $1 for a cab to his office. Now look, George, don't tell me Cartwright has shifted all his insurance over here to Floyd's of England.
Sit down, Johnny, please.
Sure. Well?
Yes, he has.
Then, baby...
As a matter of fact, after months of effort and expense, I managed to sell him on our company myself.
Oh, brother.
But if you have any idea of the amount of his annual premiums, well, Johnny, it's a real feather in my cap.
But don't you realize what you've got yourself in for?
I'm afraid I'm beginning to. So, Johnny, if you can get him off my neck...
Cartwright? Twice in 1 month? Don't bank on it. But tell me all anyhow.
Well, it's really my own fault. So anxious to get his business. And if you know how much that man spends on premiums every year...
Yeah, you said that. Now get to the point.
And I suppose I should have been more thorough, but... Well, we figured that Continental had known what it was doing, and we simply made a direct transfer of all his policies to this company, including the one that concerns us now. Only it should never have been issued.
What kind of a policy?
Straight life.
On Cartwright?
No. With all the riders attached to it. Johnny, it not only covers her life, but accident, injury, mysterious disappearance, just about anything you can think of.
Covers whom? Well?
The name on the policy. Alfred.
Alfred?
Alfred Cartwright.
A relative?
No.
No. But if his last name
is... No,
is...
Johnny, according to this policy, Alfred is a ward of Alvin Peabody Cartwright.
That's funny. I never knew that Cartwright had a... Well, what's the difference? What's happened to this Alfred?
According to Mr. Cartwright, it was an abduction.
Oh, a kidnapping, huh?
No, not exactly.
Well, what do you mean? If he was abducted, that means he was... Wait a minute.
Yes?
A minute ago, you started talking about the insurance policy on her.
That's right.
And then you start talking about Alfred.
Alfred is a she.
Is a what? Hey, well, what do you mean about an abduction of her, him, it not being a kidnapping?
Oh, I said not exactly.
But Alfred was abducted.
Yes.
Oh, look, will you start making some sense about this?
I wish I could. And if this sort of thing is typical of Cartwright...
Come on, George. If Alfred was abducted but wasn't kidnapped, well, okay, what happened?
Well, you see, Johnny, Alfred...
A female.
A female.
Well?
Alfred happens to be a dog.
Okay, so what's the difference? If she's been abducted, she's... A dog?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Alvin's Alfred matter.
George, life, accident, injury, mysterious disappearance, all that insurance on a dog?
Yes, Johnny.
A female dog?
Yes.
By the name of Alfred?
Yes.
A pet of that lovable old crackpot, Alvin Peabody Cartwright?
His ward, Johnny. At least that's the way it reads on the policy, and that's why we thought nothing of it when the policy was transferred to us from Continental Insurance and Trust.
Oh, brother.
But why Continental ever wrote such a policy in the beginning?
Oh, that part's easy, George.
But the premium's only a drop in the bucket. I mean, compared to that on the rest of Cartwright's insurance.
Now, listen. If they'd refused to write this complicated policy on his dog, they'd have lost all his business.
Well, they have now, to us.
And, Georgie, you can lose it just as fast unless you try to do something about this disappearance of that pooch.
Unless you do something about it, Johnny. You've got to find Alfred and return her to him. So will you drive on over to Lakewood and talk to Mr. Cartwright, see what you can do?
So help me, George.
And, Johnny, I promise we'll not question a single item on your expense account, no matter what it is.
Oh?
As for a nice big extra fee, well, you name it. Well, will you do it?
Okay, George, on one condition.
Yes?
That you keep this thing under your hat. I mean, after all, if the word ever got out that Johnny Dollar was chasing around the countryside looking for a dog napper...
Johnny, I promise. I cross my heart and hope to die. What a business.
With no limit on the expense account, I should have hired a Rolls, complete with liveried chauffeur. But instead, item 2 was $4.20 for a tank full of gas for my own car. Within the hour, I was pounding on the front door of the Cartwright home over in Lakewood. Hi, Mr. Cartwright.
No. I'm sorry, I'm out. I'm far too upset to talk to anyone right now. So goodbye.
No, wait a minute. Hey!
Yes. Why, Johnny?
That's right.
Well, why didn't you say so? Come in, boy. Come in.
Sure. Well, sir, how are you?
Yes, come in and commiserate with me in my hour of bereavement. How anybody could be so wicked as to take Alfred, my pride and joy, away from me. But somebody did. And, Johnny, you must find her and must bring the culprit to justice. Spare no effort, spare no expense, but come on, Johnny.
Well, have you any idea, Mr. Cartwright, who might have walked off with the pooch?
Pooch? Oh, Johnny, how can you use such a term? Alfred was almost like a child to me. Dear little thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But you haven't answered my question.
Do I know who committed this dastardly deed?
Yes.
Of course I do.
Oh, sir.
Come along, Johnny. I'll show you Alfred's picture so you'll know her when you see it.
All right. But now, why send for me, Mr. Cartwright?
What?
Well, I mean, if you know who did this.
I certainly do. And, Johnny, he must be made to pay the penalty for this nefarious deed. Now, look. Here's dear little Alfred's room.
Huh?
Well, do you like it? Isn't it nice?
I could hardly believe my eyes. It was more like the playroom for some much too wealthy child. Why, he must have spent thousands on it. On the soft, thick, wall-to-wall carpeting, all the furnishings, including a bed in the corner with a foam rubber mattress. There was a growing tree in the middle of the floor and a half-dozen miniature fire plugs scattered about. There were rubber bones and balls and toys of all sorts and sizes Toys? In addition to everything a dog could possibly play with, there was a big table with a scale model electric train, an erector set, a microscope, a lot of other science toys, including a working model of a... Huh?
Isn't it nice, Johnny?
Oh, no. Look, Mr. Cartwright.
Yes?
Don't tell me the dog played with these things.
What thing?
Well, this toy seismograph.
Toy? What are you talking about? That really works. See? See how the recording needle gave a jump on the roll of tape on it? It runs for a week. Keeps perfect time.
Oh, well, sure. So the dog could tell when there's been an earthquake somewhere, is that it?
Well, no. I may as well admit, Johnny, that some of these things are mine.
Yours?
Yes. When I was a child, the only toys I had were the ones my poor mother could make with her own hands. And I always said that if I ever had the money, I'd make up for it. That I'd have all the things I couldn't have then. So maybe I'm just a silly old man, second childhood, that sort of thing. But I said I'd have them, and now I have.
I see.
Did you ever have a nice electric train when you were a youngster?
Well, no. My folks couldn't afford it.
Yes, but I bet you wanted one, didn't you?
Oh, sure I did. Doesn't every...
Yes, and after you'd grown up, I bet you spent as much time looking at them in the store windows as any kid. All the time wishing you dared to buy one. Just to have it. You think it's all a joke, Johnny?
Joke, Mr. Cartwright?
About the man who buys his son a train for Christmas and then, plays with it all Christmas morning?
Yeah, maybe you got a point there.
Of course I have. And that's the trouble with growing up. People get so proud or stuffy or something that they won't unbend. They won't let their hair down and enjoy some of the simple little things that they'd really like to do. They're so afraid that somebody might laugh at them.
I'm not laughing, Mr. Cartwright.
And that's why I like you, Johnny, because you've sense enough to realize that, maybe an eccentric old character like me isn't so eccentric after all. That he's just become smart enough to get rid of a lot of nonsensical inhibition.
Yeah, you have got a point there.
Maybe you can understand why this same old man is so upset about losing a wonderful companion, his dog. She was such a dear. I looked all over before I found her and bought her and brought her here.
Her, Mr. Cartwright?
Yeah, that's right.
Then why did you name her Alfred?
Well, to be honest about it, Johnny, I'd really hoped for a boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you say you know who who dog-napped her?
Clarence.
Clarence?
Clarence Brixton. A stupid day servant I fired yesterday. He was the only one that could have done it. Who would have done it?
When did this happen?
Last night, between 7 and 8. I'd gone over to visit the widow Parkinson.
Oh, a bit of romance in your life, Mr. Cartwright?
Oh, Johnny, how can you say anything? Well, she is very nice. There was nobody here but little Alfred. I'd even locked her in.
Oh, what about the house? Was it locked?
Of course it was. But Clarence still had his key to it. And if you know this house, Johnny, and nobody could have broken in.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Besides, there was no sign of anybody trying to. There was no footprints outside. There was no ladder marks. There was nothing. Even the stupid local police agree that Clarence must have done it.
Then why haven't they nabbed him?
Because they believe his alibi. From that character, that wife of his. They live the other side of town, and she swears he was at home when it happened.
And you're sure that only he had a key to this house?
That's right, outside of my own. So he must have done it. Only the dumb police won't do anything because of his so-called alibi.
And we got to break that alibi.
That's right. But how? How, Johnny?
Well, I had a crazy idea.
Huh? Well, I thought I was the only one who got crazy.
Let me take a real close look at one of these toys in here.
One of these toys?
Yeah, that's right. It's a long chance, Mr. Cartwright. But let's see what happens.
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment. And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
I got back into my car and drove to the address of Clarence Brixton. I hoped he was as stupid as Cartwright seemed to think.
Yeah, mister.
Mrs. Brixton?
That's right.
I want to see your husband.
No, who are you?
Johnny Dollar, special investigator.
No, get him out of here, Mabel. Throw him out.
What are you so worried about, Brixton?
First it was those dumb cops that crazy old geezer sends around here. Now it's you. Well, me, I'm full up to hear all this yakking about me taking that mangy little hound of his and that snapping, yipping little female.
That's what she done to my Clarence, them sharp teeth of hern. You show him your hand, Clarence.
Yeah, forget it, Mabel, and shut up.
You get these marks when you were hauling Alfred out of that playroom against her will?
Huh? Now listen.
A little dog, you said.
Oh, not much bigger than Clarence's hand. Pies in his little
Oh, then you've seen it, Mrs. Brixton.
Well, no. No, Clarence told me about it.
Yeah, sure, I told her.
I see.
Well, what do you see?
And I hope it means the dog is still alive. After all, if you took the trouble to bring it here.
Well, what are you talking about? You trying to say I stole the dog off of him? So maybe nobody did, wise guy.
What do you mean by that?
Ask me, that lousy pooch got out of there on her own free will, just to get away from that crazy Cartwright like anybody in her right mind.
Out of a locked room in a locked house?
Sure. Cartwright always left the window open so she could sleep good. He left so the dog took off somewhere.
A little dog jumped out of a third-story window? Why, it would have killed or crippled her.
All right, so then he was wrong about when it happened.
While he was out, he said.
And he was out between 7 and 8 p.m. last night.
And that's when somebody chased Alfred around until he caught her, then took her away.
Prove it.
Yeah, some big, clumsy ox like yourself, Clarence, who had a key, who knew the place, knew he'd better leave the place looking undisturbed before getting away. But he didn't.
Yeah?
Here. Take a look at this.
What's that, huh?
From a working model seismograph there in that playroom.
What?
Yeah. You see, Clarence? Every clumsy footstep of yours registered in black and white for some 5 or 6 minutes during a period between 7 and 8 o'clock.
Oh, don't look like his feet to me.
But I didn't touch that thing.
You didn't need to.
You mean them squiggles on the paper, my footsteps?
What do you think? And what do you think of modern scientific investigation, Clarence?
Scientifical, huh? Gee.
But listen, mister, please, it was only so Clarence could make like he found the dog and then take him back and then maybe get his job back.
Yeah, could have worked, too, only...
Only what, Clarence?
Some local cops. They was a pushover. But then you had to come along. Dollar.
Well?
Dollar, I give myself up.
Oh, sure. Modern scientific investigation. But he fell for it. And Mabel brought the dog up from the cellar, and she was kind of a mangy little pooch. The dog, I mean. But she meant the difference between keeping or losing Cartwright's insurance account. Which reminds me, you can forget the expense account. Cartwright did well by me, as usual. And he'll probably break down and take Clarence back. Oh, well. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's program.
Well, first, a real hearty welcome to WATV in Birmingham, Alabama, and to KSOB in Cedar City, Utah. Glad to have you with us on the network. Next week, I run up the biggest, the fattest expense account you ever heard of. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, G. Stanley Jones, Howard McNear, and Frank Gerstle. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is John Wall speaking.
Johnny Dollar.
George Reed here.
Georgie, how's Floyd's of England holding up this hot weather?
Fine, Johnny, fine. Tell me, does the name Franklin P. Franklin mean anything to you?
No, I can't say that. Oh, no, wait. You mean the World War I fighter pilot who made such a name for himself came from right here in Hartford?
That's the one.
Oh, sure. One of my boyhood heroes. Yeah. Frankie the Flying Fool, they called him.
Yes.
Big plaque over at the library about the couple of dozen enemy planes he brought down.
Yes.
Which was quite a record in those days.
Yes, Johnny.
Something of a legend, too, because he'd get shot down one day, be right back in the air the next.
Yes.
Just didn't know when to quit. Well, he isn't still alive, is he?
No.
Well, I didn't think so.
No, Johnny, Mr. Franklin died a few days ago.
Only a few
leaving
days?
a considerable amount of life insurance. With our company, of course.
Oh, I see.
Over $110,000 that's to be divided equally between his two sons, Randolph and Philip. Or, of course, the survivor.
Well, what's your problem?
Well, Randolph is no problem. He lives right here in Hartford. As a matter of fact, he buried his father. But we need to find Philip. If he can be found.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, suppose you come on over here to the office, and I'll tell you what I know.
Sure, why not?
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Floyd's of England, North American Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Twisted Twin matter. Floyd's of England hands me some pretty screwy cases, but I love them because they always put money in my pocket, sometimes plenty. So, expense account item 1, $1.10 for a taxi over to George Reed's office in the big new building on the square.
Yes, Johnny, as you mentioned over the phone, Franklin was one of the wildest, most daring aviators in all of World War I.
Yeah, from what I've heard and read about him, flying and fighting was a kind of obsession with him.
That's exactly what it was, an obsession. It was more than that. It was a mania.
Yeah.
They simply couldn't keep him down. They could blast his plane out of the sky, fill him full of lead, but within a day or two, he'd be back up there fighting again.
Yeah, must have been a real nut about it, huh?
That's almost an understatement.
So what about him, George?
Well, a few days before that war ended, flying through a storm on the way back from a mission over Germany, he crashed into a mountaintop. Not from enemy fire, mind you. He'd shot down 3 Fokkers that day single-handed, but because of his own wild miscalculation.
Yeah, but it didn't kill him.
No, but he was badly injured. Very badly. Didn't regain consciousness for days. When he did, when they told him he'd never be allowed to fly again, well, Johnny, the man literally went out of his mind.
No kidding.
Well, if it hadn't been for his family's money, Franklin would probably have spent the rest of his days in a mental hospital.
Kind of a shame for a man like that.
Well, you must remember that even from childhood he was a pretty erratic... Well, anyway, after a few years of expensive medical and psychiatric care, he apparently recovered, both physically and mentally.
Good.
He was able to manage the estate his parents left him and marry and raise the two sons I mentioned, the twins, Randolph and Philip, now his sole heirs.
Mm-hmm. What about his wife?
Their mother, Grace Franklin, died when they were born.
Oh, I see. Twins, you say?
Yes.
Identical?
Absolutely identical, in appearance.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Johnny, they both inherited some of their father's instability. Now, you'll see what I mean when you meet them. That is, if you do meet them both.
Yeah?
Now, Randolph, living here in Hartford, is a salesman. He's on the road for a big machine tool manufacturer, and so far as we know, doing all right.
Uh-huh. And Philip?
Well, from what little we know about him, Philip, the stupid one, well, the last we heard, he was a henchman, I guess you'd call it, of a man named Carlo Fazzetti.
Fazzetti?
Yes.
The mobster out in Chicago?
Yes.
I had some mighty unpleasant dealings with Fazzetti one time. Well, have you contacted him? Ask him what he knows about Phil?
No.
Gee, Carlo Fazzetti.
Yes.
Oh, that's bad medicine.
I realize that.
But if the company's willing to pay good money for it, I'll try to make contact with him, see if I can enlist his help for a change. So?
It may not be necessary.
Oh?
And your important contact will be Randolph.
Okay.
Because according to him, Philip died about a year ago.
Okay, then Oh?
Yes.
Well, in that case, George...
But he hasn't been able to give us any proof. And that, of course, is what we must have, proof, one way or the other. Well, Johnny?
There's a fee on this one? I mean, after all, if I should end up having a tangle with Carlo Fazzetti.
Your usual commission on the face value of the policy.
And expenses?
And reasonable expenses.
Okay, Georgie, here we go again.
Now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Charlie, the doorman at Randy Franklin's apartment might better have been named Gimpy because of his mental limp.
Is that Mr. Franklin? Geez, I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, how should I?
Well, he does live here, doesn't he?
Sure, part of the time.
Huh?
Sure, he's a traveling salesman, some tool company.
Yeah, well, ring his apartment.
Mister, he's out of town just as much as in. Sometimes a couple of days, sometimes a month away.
Okay, now will you please...
Man, what a life. That's what ought to get me, a job like that, traveling all around.
Ring his apartment, please.
You
See if
think
he's
I
in...
like this? This standing around this fancy dump in this hot uniform. You think it ain't hot this kind of weather?
I'm sure it is. Now, please,
Boy,
if you'll just...
When I think how I could be traveling around all over, seeing the sights, meeting a lot of good-looking dames, showing them all a big time...
Charlie, would you ring Mr. Franklin's apartment and see if he's in?
You think I ain't responsible enough to get as good a job as Mr. Franklin or anybody else? Huh? Ring up his apartment?
That's right.
I can't do it.
Can't do it? What do you mean you can't?
A phone got busted a couple of days ago, and I forgot to call the repairman. But like
What's
I was
the number
saying,
of his apartment?
4A in the 4th floor. But like I started to
Okay,
say...
thanks.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, me, I could be...
Wow. Wait. Randy Franklin was in. He was mid-30s, maybe, tall, rather good-looking, with black hair, gray eyes. But there was something about the way he used those eyes, a funny shiftiness about them. And he was nervous, terribly nervous, with a trick of twitching his head so quickly I almost expected his neck to snap. His handshake was warm and friendly enough, though, but his hands trembled. He drummed his fingers on the arm of his chair and kept adjusting his tie, touching his forehead, running his fingers down the edge of his jacket.
Of course, I wish you could find Philip, Mr. Dollar, but you can't.
Well, you seem pretty sure of that, Franklin.
I am absolutely sure. Philip is dead. It happened about a year ago, and Mr. Dollar, it was my fault.
Well, now, why do you say that?
Oh, Philip lived in Chicago. He worked with a man named Carlo Fazzetti.
So I've heard.
You know who Fazzetti is?
I've met him.
Oh. I see.
Yeah.
Then you can understand why Dad was very disappointed in Philip. And when he became sick and Philip couldn't come here to see me, well, it was about that time I had to go to Chicago on business. I ran into Philip, and I told him, Mr. Dollar, I told him that unless he came back here and squared things with Dad, got himself a legitimate job and settled down, Dad would cut him out of his will, out of the insurance.
Oh, is this true?
Yes, I believe Dad might have cut him off.
Well, now, it seems to me that would have been to your advantage.
Thank you, but I prefer to get along on my own, which is why I wish you could find Philip now. But you can't.
Yeah, you said that before.
Of course, a share in Dad's estate, of course, I'd welcome that. But not all of it, if it meant cutting off my own brother. And you look as though you don't believe me.
Well, just keep talking, Randy.
The point is, the threat of losing some of the estate persuaded Philip to fly back here with me to see Dad. But then, Mr. Dollar...
Yeah? Well?
Mr. Dollar,
Look, are you always this nervous, Randy?
No, it's just when I think about what happened, and it was such a frightening, such a terrible, such a shock to me. I don't think I'll ever get over it.
When what happened?
Probably accounts for these lapses, these blackouts that occur when I can't remember things, lose track of things for weeks at a time.
When what happened, Randy?
The airplane, unscheduled, we ran into a storm over the Alleghenies. We crashed into a mountaintop.
Oh, I see.
Do you? Do you really? Do you know what it meant? The same kind of a crash that years ago caused my dad.
Yeah, to lose his sanity for a while.
No! You mustn't say that. He was as sane as you and I. It was just the fear, the terrible, uncontrollable fear and the shock. Only 3 of us, so far as we know, managed to crawl away from the wreckage. The pilot, a little girl, and myself. Even we were badly injured, we didn't know about each other until much later, because we'd all crawled away in different directions. When I was found, I'd been unconscious for several days.
Like your father after his crash during the war.
No! Please, don't. Please.
All right, I'm sorry. They found Phil's remains in the wreckage?
The wreckage of that plane burned completely. That is why the morbid-minded men at your insurance company can never have the sort of proof they seem to want. Poor Philip's body.
Oh, I see. In any event, though, it looks as though you're the sole beneficiary of your father's insurance.
And I tell you, I don't care. Don't you understand that? If you like, I'll give Philip's share to some charity.
Randy, give me the name and address of the company you work for.
Why, it's in New York, at the... Oh? Why?
Because I've suddenly got a real crazy hunch, real crazy.
Don't use that word.
Okay, then. I got myself a real wild hunch. How's that, huh? Yeah. Instead of going on back to the insurance company and telling them to pay off this policy to you, the sole survivor...
Yes, Mr. Dollar.
Well, Randy, I'm going to continue my search for your brother.
Search? For Philip? After all, I've just finished... Are you serious, Mr. Dollar?
I sure am.
But I told you...
Yeah, you told me. Just stick around, Randy.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Twisted Twin Matter.
Expense account item 2, 3820 for a day in New York, locating and checking with the machine tool company that Randy worked for. Well, by the time I got back to Hartford the next morning, I'd learned plenty about him. He'd been a good salesman for him for years, but not lately, not since the plane crash. And he never had a satisfactory explanation for long absences from his job. They were seriously considering dropping him from the sales force. Now, in other words, he had plenty of use, maybe need, for his father's insurance money. All of it, despite what he told me. So maybe if Phil was still alive... But when I went over to Randy's apartment again, he wasn't there. Okay, then. Item 3 on the expense account is $52.10, plane fare to Chicago. Items 4, 5, and 6 are 30 cents for telephone calls to my old underworld contact on, an ex-arsonist by the name of Smokey Sullivan. Item 7, $100 cash to Smokey when he dropped me off at Carlo Fazzetti's hangout, which, as might be expected, was an exclusive apartment out near the Ambassador East. What I didn't expect was the man who opened the door.
Yeah?
I want to see Carlo Fazzetti. My name is... Randy.
Huh?
So this is the answer.
What are you talking about, mister?
Oh, now don't give me that, Randy. So you've been playing it both ways, huh?
You ain't making no sense, Buster, so go on, get out of here, get lost.
Now, just a minute there, Randy.
What's this Randy stuff? My name's Phil.
Phil Franklin?
You know, now get out.
Just a minute, Phil. Who is it?
Should I know, boss? This jerky comes in here and starts talking.
Well, my dear old friend, Johnny Dollar.
Huh?
Old friend,
Why, of course, since you can't possibly be trying to tie me in with some of your insurance trouble.
For once, Rossetti.
Come in, Dollar. Come in.
Yeah, sure.
Phil.
Yeah, boss?
Make an extra one of them drinks for Mr. Dollar here. My old friend, Johnny Dollar.
Hey, boss, whatever you say.
Now, wait a minute. I want to talk.
Phil.
Yeah.
Sit down here, Dollar. Right in here.
That's Phil Franklin, huh?
Yeah. Dopey Phil Franklin.
You sure of that?
Of course I'm sure. He's been with me for years, off and on.
Off and on, huh?
One of my good boys once, but now, I don't know why I keep him around.
See, listen,
Did I
Rossetti.
say keep him around? Half the time he's here doing odd jobs around the place, serving the booze, helping himself to it. Half the time I get the boys out looking for him. Sometimes he's gone 2 days, sometimes for weeks.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait
he
a
used to be
minute.
one of my good boys. But ever since somebody knocked him on the head about a year ago, say he cracked up in an airplane.
Oh, he did, huh?
And now, what would Dopey Phil be doing aboard an airplane, huh?
Here's your drinks, boss. Here.
That's the boy. Now, Dollar, why'd you come here to see me, huh, pal? Only, here, drink up first.
Here, Carlo. Just add this drink of yours.
Huh?
But if you don't mind, I'll hang on to this glass.
Now, wait a minute.
Sorry, I gotta get going.
What?
See you next time I'm here in Chicago.
Wait a minute,
Maybe.
Dollar.
I wrapped the highball glass carefully in my handkerchief, stuffed it into my pocket, then spent item 8, $4.90 for a taxi. Item 9, another $52.10 for a plane ticket back to Hartford. Item 10, $1.50 for a cab to my apartment. Well, there I picked up my car and drove over to Randy's place. He wasn't there. Item 11, $10 to the doorman, Charlie, to keep his eyes open for once and to phone me when Randy came in. And to keep his mouth shut. Well, as I might have expected, Charlie's call didn't come until 5 days later. Item 12, $4.85 for a tank full of gas. At police headquarters, I picked up Lieutenant Tim Waverly, who spends most of his time in the lab, not in uniform. I gave him the highball glass, some instructions. Then together we drove over to Randy's apartment. And this time he was in.
Yes? Oh, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, that's right. You've been away, Randy, huh?
Away? Oh, why, yes, I guess I have.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, Tim Waverly, a friend of mine, Randy Franklin.
Hi, Mr. Franklin. How do you do?
Just where were you, Randy?
Does it make any difference?
Where? Well,
Mr. Dollar, I don't know.
No, I'll bet you don't know. All right, let him see it, Tim.
Sure. Mr. Franklin, have you ever seen this glass before? Here, take it.
What?
I said take it. Here.
All right.
Well, have you?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay, thanks. Let me have it back.
Well, of course. Here.
Want to take it back to the lab, Tim?
The lab?
No need to, Johnny. These prints are identical, all right.
Mr. Dollar, what's this all about?
Randy Franklin, huh? And Phil Franklin, too.
What?
Yeah, so ever since that plane crash, huh?
Please, don't talk about that again.
Oh, sorry. Afraid you'll get all nervous, all upset again?
Yes, don't you see? This last blackout was right after you were here before.
Blackout, huh?
Yes.
You expect me to believe you don't know where you went, where you've been ever since then?
It's true, Mr. Dollar.
Are you kidding? I saw you in Chicago posing as Phil.
No.
What do you mean, no?
It's not true. It can't be
Those
true.
identical fingerprints on this highball glass prove it.
I don't know what you're talking
But
about.
why? What kind of a racket were you trying to pull?
Dollar.
Did you have some crazy
No.
idea that maybe,
No,
just
don't
maybe...
talk like that. I told you not to talk like that. Do you hear me?
All right, now, you just keep your hands to yourself,
No,
Randy.
because you're trying to upset me again, but I won't let you get out. Get out
Now,
of here.
just a minute,
Watch
you.
it, Johnny. I'll show you. Coming here this way. You hear me?
No, you...
Don't. Oh.
All right, now, Randy.
No. Please.
Take it easy, Johnny. You hit him pretty hard.
And that isn't all, Tim. Let me have your gun.
My gun?
Yeah, give me.
No, wait a minute.
Thanks. All right, now, Randy.
Johnny, you're out of your mind.
Am I? Stand back.
No, Johnny.
No, please. No.
No.
Johnny, If I didn't know you.
Okay. It was the shock that knocked him out, Tim.
I know. You not only didn't hit him, you didn't try to, but
yeah,
I
that's right. Now let's get him over to old Doc Parsons.
Dr. Parsons?
Yeah.
The psychiatrist?
Yeah, come on. Give me a hand with him. Then, Doctor, it was a guilt complex that brought it all about, huh? This condition of his.
Plus shock, Mr. Dollar. You see, Randolph had built up this complex as a result of his brother's death in the plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
And you must remember that Randolph felt responsible for Philip's death.
And afterward, during his blackout, he really thought that he was, Phil, huh?
Exactly. Of course, you were taking a big chance, Mr. Dollar. This new shock might have killed him.
Oh, brother, don't I know it, Doc. But, when I suddenly realized what it was all about,
Well, fortunately, it worked. His intense excitement, which ordinarily might have resulted in another one of his blackouts, sent him back into the Phil personality. Well, that excitement, plus the shock and pain when you struck him, then his overpowering fear when you stood over him, pulling that trigger, apparently trying to kill him. Well, Dollar, they were a perfect match for the pain and the terror that existed during the plane crash that made him the way he was.
But now, Doctor?
Well, I'm convinced that with proper care, Randolph will now be all right. Will be himself, entirely.
Good.
Just, don't you ever try anything like this again, young man.
Yeah, Dr. Parsons was right. After this, I'll leave the shock treatment bit to people like him who really know what they're doing. All right, let's see now. Expense account total comes to $196.55. There'll be no fee on this one. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey. Originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were G. Stanley Jones, Frank Gerstle, James McCallion, Jack Moyles, Herb Ellis, and Russell Thorson. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is John Wald speaking.
Johnny Dollar has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Johnny Dollar.
Johnny, this is Don Boomhauer down here in Sarasota, Florida.
Don, how are you?
Oh, great.
Yeah? Now, what's the matter?
Well, the last time I called you, I mentioned that pal of yours, Earl Foreman.
Yeah?
Told you he was out in California and that he'd left me holding down the local office of Tri-State Life and Casualty for him.
Oh, yeah, I
So
remember.
what's he gone and done? Moved on out there to sunny, smoggy Southern California, bag and back.
Yeah, I heard from
Which
a
is
few
to
of
say I'm still running the Tri-State office here in Sarasota.
That's bad?
Be fine if it didn't take so much of my time away from my real estate business. But what I called you about, Johnny...
Yeah, trouble, Don?
Yes, well, no, not exactly.
Well, which is it?
I mean, not exactly the kind you might expect. Looks like one of our clients, an old man by the name of William Trasker, is dying.
Old Bill Trasker, the fishing guy?
That's the one.
Yeah. Earl and I went fishing with him several times out in the Gulf.
Oh, so that's how he knows about you.
Well, what's he dying of, Don? I can't imagine anybody having it in for old Bill and trying to knock him off.
No, it's some rare type of kidney ailment, the doctor says.
Oh.
Nothing suspicious about it, nothing whatsoever.
Oh, well, then
The amount of insurance he carries is so small as to be almost negligible.
How much, Don?
$2,500.
Huh?
I know, Johnny. It would hardly seem to justify the cost of your coming down.
And if there's nothing suspicious about the circumstances...
Nothing at all. It'll be death from natural causes.
Well, Don, I'm afraid I don't see any
During
reason...
his periods of consciousness, he's in a coma most of the time, he keeps asking for you.
Oh? What?
Well, I don't know. Not for sure, that is. But what he keeps saying, or trying to say, and it's hard to understand him, well, Johnny, it sounds like he's trying to give us the clue to a murder.
Murder?
That's right.
Don, I'm on my way. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Tri-State Life and Casualty Insurance Company office in Sarasota, Florida. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the recompense matter. Expense account item 1, $79.70, taxi and a plane from Hartford to New York, then another one to Florida. At the International Airport in Tampa, Don Boomhauer was waiting for me. We piled into his air-conditioned car and headed south on the Tamiami Trail down towards Sarasota.
That's right, Johnny. Old Bill Trasker.
Dying of some kidney disease, huh?
And according to Dr. Crutcher, nothing short of a miracle would save him.
Just too bad. He seemed like a mighty nice old man, a real gentleman. Well-educated, well-spoken. You'd expect to find him running a big business instead of a broken-down outboard rig to take out fishing parties.
So I understand. But frankly, Johnny, I'd never even seen old Bill until the doctor called me. Said he was dying and that he wanted to see you. Then I looked up his policy.
Yeah, $2,500, you said.
Yes, to be spent in giving him a modest but decent burial. And to pay any bills he might leave outstanding.
Apparently, then, Bill won't be leaving much of an estate.
And you'll understand why when you see the little kind of shack he lives in.
But now, over the phone, you said something about a murder.
Well, Johnny, it was so difficult trying to understand what he was trying to say. Even when he seemed completely conscious, he was very vague, except perhaps when he was asking for you, when he told us he had to see you before he goes.
Well, now, Don, why...
He never said the actual word murder, Johnny, but he, well, listen, there was a name he kept trying to tell us. It sounded like Jerry or Gerald something. Last name we couldn't get at all.
Well, have you checked over his relatives?
When we asked him about relatives, he just turned his face away and shook his head.
But now, if he was talking about a murder...
Johnny, it's just that... Well, Doc and I agreed that from what he said, and, well, his knowing you and your work and wanting to see you, and, well, you know how deathbed confessions are.
You're not making much sense.
Look, Doc will be waiting for us, and if Bill is conscious enough to make sense when he talks to you, well, let's just wait and see what you can get out of him.
Whatever you say, Don. Old Bill's home was a shack, all right, on a small, scrubby piece of land near the end of one of the bayous leading out from Sarasota Bay. As we stopped in front of the the long path through the palmettos that led up to it, Doc Crutcher came out to meet us.
Johnny, I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, how are you, Doc?
Don? I just given him a final injection in across the 7 that... Well, come on in.
He's failing, Doc?
As a last resort, I've used a new, very radical sort of treatment. One of the so-called but not fully tried miracle drugs.
And?
I'm just afraid he came to me too late.
But, Doc, there is a chance.
Oh, there's always a chance, Johnny. But in this case, a very slim one.
Doctor.
Here we are, Bill. You just relax.
$15.
Yeah. Well, here I am, Bill. See? Right here in the flesh.
Johnny?
That's right. Hey, look, if you expect to take me out fishing, you got to get well, old man.
No. Oh, Johnny, it's too late.
Oh, come on now. That's no way to talk, old-timer.
I'm gonna die now.
Yeah? Who said so?
But you must tell him.
Tell who, Bill?
Tell police.
Tell what to the police?
No.
What?
No. Murder.
There was a murder? Or you mean there was no murder?
Oh, tell police that I did. I did it.
Easy, old man.
Gerald.
Gerald?
Yes, I'm Gerald.
Gerald who, Bill?
Gerald. All right.
Yeah.
Thornley.
Gerald Thornley.
Yes.
He was murdered?
Gerald Thornley.
Yeah.
So, please, I did it. I did it, Johnny. You tell.
Doctor.
Yeah. Yes, I'll see if he's...
The end, Doc?
Well, no. As a matter of fact, his heartbeat is... Well, it's stronger.
What?
Much stronger. Doc, listen.
Yes, Doc?
Get to a phone and get an ambulance while I make him ready.
You mean that maybe you can pull him through after all?
Yeah. Now, come on, Johnny. Give me a hand with him.
Sure, Doc. Save him, huh?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so that we can investigate this confession of his.
Huh?
Sure, and then see that he's executed for murder.
Oh, darn for the Lola, Mike.
Yes, call that ambulance.
And now, Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
We carefully laid old Bill in the back seat of Don Boomhauer's car and drove him to the hospital ourselves. And then we could only wait to see if the drug that Dr. Crutcher had given him would really do its work. And yet, if it did, if by some modern miracle the old man should recover. Well, Don had said it there at the shack, and he said it again that evening as we sat in the comfortable den of his home, trying to console ourselves with a couple of scotch and sodas.
No, it's wrong, Johnny. There's something very wrong about it. I mean, pulling him away from death's door only so that he can be electrocuted for that murder he confessed to.
But did he really, Don?
What else could he have meant? So you've got to investigate, Johnny. Even Doc Crutcher has to report that confession to the police.
Maybe.
And so do I. We've no way out of it. None of us.
Gerald Thornton.
Yes, the name of his victim, the man he murdered.
Did he? Is that what he tried to tell us?
Well, what else could he have possibly meant? And don't forget, he thinks that he's dying.
Oh, I know.
A deathbed confession, Johnny. Happens all the time.
Oh, but look, is he the kind of man who could have killed somebody? He certainly didn't strike me that way.
But how do you know? It may have happened years ago.
And it may never have happened at all.
And I hope that somehow you're right. But can you prove it? Well, Johnny?
Pour me another drink, will you?
Sure, all you want. But you haven't answered my question.
I'm going to try, Don. I'm going to try. At about midnight, Doc Crutcher phoned to say that we should keep our fingers crossed and maybe pray a bit. As it now looked as though Bill Trasker might have a 50-50 chance to live. Then, unexpectedly, a call from Lieutenant Barney Phillips of the police department.
Yes, Mr. Dollar. Doc Crutcher told me all about
you know anything about this Bill Thornley?
No, sir, never heard of him. But we'll find out who he was. Don't you worry about that.
Lieutenant, how well do you know old Bill?
Well, that's the thing that puzzles me, Dollar. Old Bill is one of the nicest, one of the most kindliest old men I've ever known.
Oh?
Ever since he came here to Sarasota, that's about 7 years ago, it seems he just went out of his way all the time trying to be nice and helpful to folks. Didn't have much to give to anybody, money I mean, but whatever he had or he could do for somebody, he never would hesitate a minute.
I see.
But that doesn't keep us from having to do our duty, get the goods on him, see that justice is done. The law is the law, and it's our duty to uphold it.
Old Bill came here 7 years ago?
That's right.
From where?
Well, now, if we knew that, we'd know where to look for information on this man Thornley that he killed.
Yes, he did.
What's that?
I'll talk to you later, Lieutenant.
Oh, fine, Mr. Dolan. If you have any connections anywhere that can help us find out who Gerald Thornley was and why old Bill killed him.
Or if I can find out that he didn't kill any such man or anybody else.
Now, Mr. Dolan.
I'll be in touch.
Why are you so sure he didn't murder someone, Johnny?
Did I say that, Don?
You didn't need to.
Don, I want no part of this thing.
Donnie, I know this is no ordinary sort of investigation, but as a company, we have to go through with it.
Why?
If you can prove that Bill didn't do it, which I doubt, well, it's the least we can do for a client, or something.
Yeah.
And if you end up proving he did, well, it's a public service by the company, or something.
Or something. Let someone else handle it. I want to put it.
Why did old Bill ask for you? Well?
Oh, well, I think it's because of... Well, in spite of what he said, in spite of what it sounded like... Hey, let me use your car, will you?
At this time of night? Oh, here. Here are the keys.
All right, good.
What have you got in mind?
Well, maybe keeping an innocent man out of the chair.
Now, Johnny...
I'll see you later. Obviously, the key to this whole matter lay in finding out about Bill's supposed victim, Gerald Thornley. Who he was, where he was, or where he had been. And then if Bill had ever been there. So I drove over to the shack again and went through Bill's clothes, hoping that some of them might be old enough to show where he'd been before he moved to Sarasota. Every one of them bore a New York label. Item 2, $5.20 for a tank full of gas. Item 3, after I reached the airport in Tampa, $4.60 for a long telegram to Rippy Keener, a pal of mine on the New York side. Item 4, $71.70, and shortly after dawn, I was in New York. Rip was waiting for me at the airport.
You could have saved yourself the time and money and phoned me, Johnny.
Now, just what do you mean by that, Rip?
Well, I could have told you all there is to tell about Gerald P. Thornley in one sentence. I handled the story on him for the paper myself.
All right, well, what about him?
He ain't.
He what?
7 years ago, that crooked promoter disappeared.
Promoter?
And when the police finally caught up with when and where and how he disappeared, it left them with only one possible conclusion. Thornley was murdered.
Nevertheless...
No, Johnny. Stop trying to act like a Pollyanna and get on back to Sarasota and nail that old guy for murder.
The 14th Amendment to our Constitution is one of its most important sections. It bestows United States citizenship upon every person, regardless of race, who is born within our borders or who is naturalized. And this amendment further provides that the privileges and immunities of citizenship cannot be taken away by a state, nor may a citizen be denied the equal protection of the laws. It is this amendment which makes us all equal citizens with equal rights, to the end that this country of yours and mine shall be our country under God.
Now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the recompense matter.
Over breakfast there at Idlewild Airport, Rip Keener told me more about Gerald P. Thornley.
Not that Thornley didn't deserve to have somebody knock him off.
Now, just what does that mean, Rip?
When he got through with all his phony real estate promotions, he left more innocent people broke and hungry than you can shake it. Oh, Johnny, that man made millions on his crooked real estate deals. And who suffered? Wealthy people who could afford to lose a few thousand here and there? Oh, no. No, sir. I was poor people who fell for his pitch and then suffered for it.
But the law, the authorities, they never got onto him.
He was too smart. Every deal he made was perfectly legal at the time. I'll tell you this, Johnny. A lot of the real estate laws got rewritten as a result of him. I mean, in spite of the way it finally turned out, the switcherooning.
What?
Sure. That gave me material for that feature I hoped was going to win me a Pulitzer Prize.
Just, what are you talking about, Rip?
Back there in 53, after the coroner's jury said it was murder, they went through his papers and bank accounts. They found he left enough dough and instructions for it to pay back every cent he'd taken from the poor suckers.
You are kidding.
A bit, Johnny. I told you it was a twist. And, Johnny, that's what makes his killer all the more wrong. So get on back there to Sarasota and nail him down.
Yeah, Rip, I guess it's all I can... Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
Handle this right, and maybe your next feature will get you a Pulitzer Prize.
Huh?
Poor people who'd been taken by Thornley. Well, old Bill Trasker had never been in that category, in spite of his menial job these last 7 years as a fishing guide. Item 5, 10 cents for a call to Lieutenant Randy Singer, 18th Precinct. Then I had Rip Keener drive me into see him.
There you are, Johnny. A complete set of fingerprints on the late Mr. Gerald P. Thornley.
Good.
So why I should break my neck getting them in such a hurry for you.
Thanks,
If you put that so-called mind of yours to work finding out who murdered him 7.5 years ago, why...
Yeah, well, that coroner's jury could have been all wet, you know.
Huh?
Why don't you keep Rip here entertained until I can phone him a feature story from down in Sarasota?
Johnny.
If, that is.
Yeah? If what?
Now, if this absolutely crazy hunch of mine pays off. Item 6, another 7170 for a plane back to Florida. From the airport in Tampa, I drove on down to Sarasota, straight to the hospital.
It is a miracle, Johnny. If old Bill continues to improve the way he has in these last 12 hours, he'll live until they put him in the chair, much as I hate to say that.
Old Bill was much better. It almost was a miracle. He let me take a set of his fingerprints, and then he broke down and told me his story. Then at police headquarters, when one of the lab men compared the prints with a set I brought down from New York, Lieutenant Barney Phillips nearly flipped.
But oh, no, look, Al, I can't believe this. According to these prints, old Bill is Gerald P. Thornley.
That's right.
But I don't understand. But why, Dollar?
Well, his dirty real estate promotions were perfectly legal at the time. But he was ruining more innocent people, causing more heartbreak and suffering. But he hadn't thought about that in his lust for money. All he cared about was getting more and more of it, regardless of whom he was hurting. Until one day this kidney thing hit him, and it scared him. And suddenly he realized that one day he'd die as one of the most hated men in the world. But simply getting back the money would never erase the stigma that he'd have to live with. So he arranged his own disappearance, and he made it look like murder, so he could quietly get away and start leading the kind of life he should have been leading and could start doing some good for people. Exactly the way he's been doing here in Sarasota, Lieutenant.
There's a sort of recompense for the rotten things he'd done before.
Yeah, that's right.
And without having folks point him out as the crook he'd been.
That's right. And don't forget, the people he'd hurt up north were all paid off.
But Dollar, when he thought he was dying, he told you murder.
He said no murder. Doc and Don misunderstood. He said to tell the police that he did it. That's all. And now we know what he did.
Dollar, I hate to say this, but he's still in trouble.
Old Bill Trasker?
Gerald P. Thornley.
Not anymore, Lieutenant.
What's it?
Thornley is dead. Legally dead.
Well, I know it's only... Well, I guess you're right, Mr. Johnny. Well, you say you're right.
Yeah. after sticking around a few days to make sure that old Bill's recovery would be complete, well, I changed my mind about giving Rip Keener material for a feature. Let him wonder about it. The expense account total, including the trip back to Hartford, no, Don, forget it. Just forget it. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Russell Thornton, Bart Robbins, Harley Bear, Barney Phillips, Dick Crenna, and Herb Vigran. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is John Wall speaking. Johnny Dollar has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Johnny Dollar.
This is Harry McQueen, Johnny, up here in Gloucester, Mass.
McQueen?
That's right, 4 State Mutual.
Oh, sure, Harry. How are you? What's on your mind?
Johnny, I have a real funny one for you.
Okay, so I'm laughing.
Oh, I mean funny peculiar, you know.
Do I? Why don't you tell me about it and we'll see.
Well, it appears that somebody's threatening the life of one of our clients.
You call that funny?
I told you, Johnny.
Yeah, you told me. What's the name of this client?
Amos R. Weatherby, an old retired sea captain. Lives in a little town of Annisquam up on Cape Ann.
How much insurance does he carry?
$50,000 straight life.
And who's the beneficiary?
His pretty young niece, Thelma Jane Weatherby.
Oh?
She lives with him, sort of takes care of him.
But she just can't wait for him to die a natural death. Hmm?
Oh, wrong, Johnny. She's the one who called me about it a few minutes ago. Asked that you be sent up there.
Well, now, Harry, you know as well as I do that if she's smart...
And she is.
And if she has got any intentions, the best way to keep suspicion from herself.
Wrong again, Johnny. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see and talk to her. Well?
Young, did you say?
In her late 20s.
And, pretty?
Very. The most gorgeous girl I think I've ever seen.
Okay, then, Harry, give me the address and telephone her that I'm on my way.
CBS Radio brings you Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the 4 State Mutual Insurance Company, Gloucester, Massachusetts office. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the boat out of the blue matter. Knowing the Cape Ann country pretty well, I decided to use my own car on this one. So, expense account item 1, $14.70, mileage at the rate of 10 cents a mile, and a bargain for the company at half the price. Annisquam, on the northwestern end of the Cape, is a pleasant little settlement, unspoiled by the vacation crowds. A kind of quiet summer haven for writers, poets, and painters, with a few large and very old homes. The address that Harry McQueen gave me turned out to be one of them. Set on a high, sandy knoll, it was a big frame house with hip roof, shingled turrets, and cupolas, half a dozen gables and dormer windows, all of it dripping with gingerbread and covered with Boston ivy. It looked out over the sparkling blue waters of Annisquam Bay. On one corner was a big tower with a platform on top surrounded by a heavy, well-polished brass railing. A flagpole carried not only the national ensign, but a couple of signal flags on separate lines below a sort of yardarm, I guess you'd call it. Another shorter pole supported a weather vane and one of those revolving things to measure wind velocity. The whole place, in spite of its weather-beaten age, was in good condition. It was what the owner, according to Harry's description of them, would probably call shipshape. All very interesting and colorful. What interested me most, though, was the vision that greeted me at the front door. And I mean vision.
Yes? Oh, you must be Johnny Dollar.
Any description of Thelma Jean Weatherby could only end up in the Department of Understatement. She was tall, well-tanned, and beautiful. A sort of honey blonde with clear, exciting blue eyes. The sort of figure that you dream about. She was wearing a well-cut pair of blue silk capris.
Johnny?
And a blouse of lighter blue chiffon. The freshening breeze caught a wisp of her hair and gently flicked it across that beautiful face in a sort of caress. I caught the faint scent of arpege.
Johnny, what's the matter with you? You are Johnny Dollar, aren't you?
What? Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sorry, Miss Weatherby.
Miss Weatherby?
Thelma?
Thelma Jean. But come in, Johnny.
Yeah, sure.
The captain has just gone up to the bridge to look for the weather so we can talk safely.
The captain?
My uncle, Captain Amos Weatherby.
Oh, boy.
And the bridge is on that tower on the corner of the house.
I see.
He spends most of his time up there. It was about Captain Amos that I called the insurance company.
So McQueen told me.
Sit down, Johnny. And would you like a nice cool drink or something after your long drive?
Well, I take it you'd like to tell me what this is all about while the captain isn't here, so why don't we save the amenities for later, huh?
All right. I can tell you all about it in 2 minutes.
All right.
I was engaged to a fellow.
That I can believe.
His name was Roger Burton. Until a couple of weeks ago when the captain, who didn't like Roger from the start, well, he found out some rather unsavory things about him.
Like what, Thelma Jean?
Roger never told me, Johnny, but he'd been married. Twice, as a matter of fact. And both of his wives died under very funny circumstances.
I see.
Also, they both had considerable money. Which I will if anything ever happens to Captain Amos.
So I understand. His insurance.
So I not only broke off with him, but Captain Amos literally threw him out of the house. And believe me, in spite of his age, he could do it.
And now?
Well, before he left, Roger told Captain Amos he'd get even with him. He said that he'd kill him.
You mean just like that?
Yes. He even boasted that he could do it and get away with it. The same as he did with a couple of nosy wives. Those were his very words. You have no idea what a horrible person he became after the captain showed him up. It was like a maniac.
Well, then you're lucky to be free of him.
You bet I am. It'll be a long time before I fall for any sweet talk again.
Oh, it'd be a terrible waste, Thelma Jean.
What?
Yeah, like you.
Oh, Johnny, not you.
No, I'm just kidding. Or am I?
You better be. And yet, if all the stories I've heard about you
I don't
are
believe
true.
one of them. And to prove that I didn't come up here just because Harry McQueen said you're the most beautiful, the most gorgeous gal.
McQueen told you that?
Yeah, sure right, 1,000%. But
Then
now...
if I'd known that, and if you hadn't come, I'd never have forgiven you.
Yeah, but now let's get down to what...
Especially after what he said over the phone about you.
Like what?
Oh, that, you're an old, dull, stodgy, pedantic,
Why, I'll
bumbling...
sue him. And I'll certainly try to prove otherwise. But right now...
Now, Johnny.
Now, let's get down to business. Well?
Well, after the captain threw him out, we thought that was the last we'd see of Roger, in spite of what he'd said, in spite of his threats.
But?
Johnny, somebody has been prowling around outside this house at night. I've only caught glimpses of him, of his shadow, really, but I'm sure it's Roger Burton. It can only mean one thing, Johnny. He's here to carry out his threat against Captain Amos.
You're sure it's Roger Burton you've seen prowling around the place?
Yes, Johnny, and only at night. And he's supposed to have left Anna's farm, to have gone out west or something. Now, don't you see what that means? That he's going to carry out his threat to kill Captain Amos. And he's got to stop him somehow.
If you're right about all this.
Oh, if only you knew what a terrible person he is.
And yet you were engaged to be married to him.
That was before the captain showed him up for what he really is, a wife killer.
Well, you admit yourself it's never been pinned on him.
Because he's clever. That's why he boasted that he could kill my uncle and get away with it. And now that I've seen him here... Johnny?
He hasn't made his presence around here known to anyone else, Thelma Jean?
I'm sure he doesn't know that I've seen him. But now listen...
Just what has he done?
All I know is that I've seen him, or his shadow, poking around outside in the yard between here and the cell. Then last
The cell?
night...
What's that?
Look, you can see it from this window. There.
That concrete building, whatever it is, at the edge of the property?
It used to be a kind of jail back in the days of the sailing ship. Now the power company uses it for transformers or whatever you call them.
Yeah, I see the power cables leading down from the pole.
I've looked for his footprints out there in the mornings, but there's always a wind at night, so...
Maybe I'd better take a look in that cell, as you call it.
Oh, it's all locked up, Johnny. And the tiny windows with the bars over them are so dirty you can't see a thing inside.
Have you any reason to think he somehow got into it? Hey, that storm's really coming this way.
Yes, and Captain Amos will love it. But now,
Well,
Johnny...
hadn't you better get him down off that tower before it hits?
During the storm? Why, you couldn't drag him down with a turning mule team.
Oh.
Take him back to the old days when he used to ride out a storm on the open bridge of a sailing ship.
Thelma Jean, does he know about Roger showing up again?
No, Johnny, I haven't told him. But listen, I've been trying to tell you.
Tell me what?
That I not only heard him crawling around last night, but this morning I found some ladder marks in the ground.
Where?
Out beside the tower. As though he'd used a long ladder to get up to it from the outside.
Ladder marks?
I don't know what else they could be.
This feller, and for the moment we'll assume that it is Roger Burton.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
He's made no attempt to enter the house?
Oh, he's too smart for that. And don't forget, Johnny, he doesn't know that I've seen him around again.
Well, before this storm really breaks, Thelma Jean, I'm going to take a look at that transformer building out there and see if...
And you better hurry, Johnny, before...
Thelma Jean! Thelma Jean!
Yeah, Captain?
Where are you?
In here.
Where in tarnation did you put my sou'wester?
It's up in the cabin just below the bridge where it always is.
I told you the storm was making up. It's going to be a big one. Now you got to get me back on the bridge. Well, now who's this, Thelma Jean?
Captain, this is Johnny Dollar.
Dollar, huh?
Hiya, Captain Amos.
Another crooked landlubber come here to trouble you?
Oh, no, Captain. Johnny... Well, just an old friend who dropped in.
Yeah?
With the storm coming up,
Big one, I tell you. Been in all the papers. But me, I told you it was on the way 5-6 days ago. The way the barometer on the bridge has been behaving.
Yes, I know. So I've asked Johnny to stay for the night.
Oh? Well, whatever me little girl wants, Thelma Jean, you know that. But, Johnny?
Yes, sir?
You do anything to hurt me little girl, and by Jupiter, I'll keel haul you.
Don't worry, Captain.
All right. Sou'westers in the cabin up there?
Aye, sir.
And I'll see you below here when the storm's over.
I'll bring your dinner up to you.
When I'm riding on the stall, don't be silly, woman.
Aye, sir. Johnny, if you're going out to look at that cell...
First, I want you to show me where you found the ladder marks, okay?
Aye, sir.
The marks in the ground were still quite plain at the base of the ivy-covered tower. The ladder must have been a tall one, high enough to reach the platform that the captain called the bridge. And I found, rather, a couple of things. A heavy lightning rod extended up the side of the tower, well hidden by the ivy. But the bottom of it had been sawed off, making it useless. Also hidden by the ivy was a wire, an insulated copper wire, too heavy to cut without tools, but certainly not big enough to take a lightning bolt. The wire was lashed to the upper section of the lightning rod. The other end disappeared in the ground at my feet, and it led away toward the cell, the little transformer station. It was dark now, and the storm was building up fast. I dashed back into the house, up to the second floor, and then up the winding stairway to the captain's bridge.
You better lash yourself under the rail, Johnny. This wind will blow you clean off of the deck into the sea.
Looks like you're right, sir.
I told her this nor'easter is going to be a big one, and it is, Johnny. Reminds me of one night off the Azores. That was vastly... What are you doing there, Johnny?
This upper end of the lightning rod was 6 or 8 feet from the side of the tower, held there by big insulators. But again, the heavy copper wire, again hidden by the ivy. It connected the rod with the brass railing where the captain was holding on for dear life against the wind. And it meant that the railing was the cleverest, most diabolical instrument for murder that I had ever seen. Captain Amos.
Listen to her blow, Johnny.
Listen, we've got to go below.
Below, and Mr. Storm like this? Come on, Juan, it'll thunder like hysteria.
Listen to me. Keep away from that rail.
Let go of this rail, it'll blow us into the sea.
I tell you, get away from that
Keep
rail.
your hands off me, you blubber, you...
Sorry. I dragged him off his so-called bridge and down into the little room below, then hoisted him onto my shoulder and started down the circular stairway.
What is it? What's happened to him?
I'm afraid I had to knock him out.
What?
To get him off that platform up there.
No, Johnny, you shouldn't have. He'll never forgive you for...
For what? For preventing him from getting electrocuted?
Oh.
Better give him some brandy or something.
Oh, Johnny, don't you understand? Didn't you see the lightning rod up there?
You bet I did. Right next to the platform. And while you're at it, you can bring a slug of that for me.
Don't you understand? Lightning wouldn't hit a rod like that, not once in 100 years. In 100 years, Johnny, here.
Thanks.
What it does is clear the air of static electricity all around the place. So the lightning won't strike nearby.
Yeah, that's what you
Don't
think.
you see what you've done to him? I'll never forgive you for this. Here, darling.
Now listen, Thelma Jean.
Oh, Johnny, you've hurt him.
Well, I'm sorry, but now listen.
You're going to be a lot more sorry,
Thelma Jean.
There's nothing you can say,
Listen to
Johnny.
me. You keep him here. Keep him away from the bridge until I get back here.
Come back here, Johnny.
Just keep him there. Outside, with the aid of occasional flashes of lightning, I found my way to the concrete transformer house. There, I found out how Roger Burton, in spite of the heavy padlock on the door, had got into it. By the simple device of pulling the pins out of the hinges. And who was sitting there waiting for me with a .38 in his hand?
Close the door, mister, and back up against it. Go ahead.
You don't give me much choice, do you?
I can only tell you that if you make one move towards me, I'll pull this trigger. Your body won't be found until the annual inspection of this little transformer station. That'll be 4 months from now, and I'll be a long way away from here.
I see.
I'll probably have to kill you anyway, mister. After I get rid of that meddling old man up on the tower the old fool calls the bridge.
Up on the tower, Burton?
Yeah, I saw you drag him away from there through this window. Just before a good flash of lightning that could have been my cover-up. But don't worry. He'll be back. Hanging on to that railing, riding out the rest of the storm, and when he is...
The rest of this madman's murder weapon was all too obvious now. Up on the tower, the brass railing was wired to the disconnected lightning rod. On the lower end was the copper wire I discovered. And this end of the wire here in the blockhouse was connected to a 22,000-volt transformer.
You see how it works, mister? He goes back up there and grabs hold of the rail. I throw the switch. And the power in this line will not only kill him, but melt away the copper wire. Destroy the evidence. Only nobody will look for evidence. Because they'll all think a bolt of lightning killed him.
All right, Burton, listen to me.
Oh. Look. I can see him. In the room where you carried him. Hey, look through the window beside you. You can see him, too.
I can see him all right. Starting back up the circular stairway, back up to the bridge.
You think that Thelma Jean can stop him? Never!
If he ever got there, if he touched the railing, Burton would throw the switch, would electrocute him. But then a miracle. Once in 100 years, the bolt of lightning out of the heavens. The bolt of lightning had struck the rod high up on the tower, had streaked down the wire into the blockhouse. It fairly exploded inside of it. The force had blown me out through the door, and it was a couple of hours later inside the house before I was able to move. Burton, holding the switch, had been killed instantly. I'm glad I hadn't tried to get any closer to him. It was a bolt out of the blue. It was justice in its own strange fashion. Expense account total, including a checkup by one of the local medicos, some new clothes, mine were in shreds, incidentals, and the trip back to Hartford, $171.50. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Star, to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, a vicious racket that a lot of respectable people fall for, that you ought to know about. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Virginia Gregg, Carlton G. Young, Ralph Moody, and James McCallion. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Jim Matthews speaking.
Johnny Dollar.
Freddie Friedkin, Johnny, over here at Mono Guarantee Insurance.
Freddie, how are you?
Oh, same as always. Listen, now, why don't you do me a favor?
If I can.
Ever hear of an old dame by the name of Mrs. Ambrose Winifred Van Turkle?
Ambrose, what?
Van Turkle.
No, I'm happy to say I haven't.
Yeah, I guess you have a point there. Nancy's an old fuzz budget. Lives over on South Tyrone, 1227.
South Tyrone? She must be loaded.
And depends on how you look at it. But we have written a bit of insurance on her jewelry. And Johnny.
How much?
Just under $250,000. And Johnny.
You're kidding.
Not a bit. But now listen.
My regular commission on $1 million?
Now listen, will
Freddie,
you?
say no more. I'll take the case.
The CBS Radio Network brings you Mandel Kramer in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator, yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Mono Guarantee Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Too Many Crooks matter. You know, they say that too many cooks spoil the broth. Well, believe me, too many crooks can certainly mess up an insurance investigation. I know. Expense account item 1460 to fill the gas tank on my car. Then I drove to Freddie Friedkin's office down in the square. He was waiting for me out front. Okay, Freddie, let's have it.
Now, look, if you hadn't hung up the phone on
I
me...
think it must be pretty urgent. You're standing here says I was right. So, what goes with this Van Turkle dame and her $1 million worth of jewelry?
I told you, and that's why she's an important client. I understand, incidentally, she keeps it all out there at her home.
She does, huh?
And that's fine with us. Makes the premiums that much higher.
What's happened to her, Freddie?
Her? Well, not a thing, nothing at all. It's what happens to me.
What do you mean?
Well, it's the day off for all her servants, including the chauffeur. So I promised to drive her in here to the office this morning to go over some of her policies.
Well, Fred.
Well, now, if I don't, the old fuss pot is liable to blow a gasket and cancel everything. And she would.
You mean that's all you told me about?
So the first vice president in charge of me has just arrived in town, and that means I don't dare leave this place.
Freddie, I was counting a commission on
So
her.
I told her you'd drive her in here.
You what?
And, Johnny, I don't know what this power is that you seem to have over these old biddies, but she knows all about you. Listens to every program every week and thinks you're wonderful.
Freddie, flattery will get you nowhere.
Now, look, instead of chewing me out, she said fine. She'd get all tricked up in her Sunday best and be waiting for me.
Oh, Freddie, look.
And I'm serious, Johnny. This is really important.
Am I supposed to wear a uniform and chauffeur's cap?
I'm not kidding. It is important, very. Will you do it as a favor to me?
As a favor to you?
Yeah.
No.
Now, Johnny.
But I will for another reason.
Oh?
I would just like to have a look at the female who can throw such a scare into fearless Freddie Friedkin. drove to the CC residential section on South Trevone Avenue. Number 1227 was one of those huge, once very fashionable brownstone affairs surrounded with broad lawns, formal gardens, and plenty of stately elms. The winding driveway led to a porte cochere on one side. I pulled into it, gave the horn a couple of polite beats, and waited. Looks like her ladyship really does want service. Well, something they're still using these things. Well, come on, your ladyship, your carriage is waiting. So am I. Oh, Mrs. Van... When I finally saw the light again, the birds out there in the trees were singing merrily. But to my aching head, it sounded like they were screaming. I just lay there for a minute or two trying to collect my wits. Whoever given me that cloud over the head had really done a good job of it. It made sure I'd stay out of circulation long enough for him to... But wait a minute. I had just one glimpse of him in a brief second when I'd opened that door. William McPeak. That's what it was. William McPeak, slugger and second story man with a record as long as your arm. With old Mrs. Van Turker alone in this big house. I managed painfully to get back on my feet. Mrs. Van Turker? Mrs. Van Turker! I found her slumped over in a chair in a sort of moaning room. She'd been struck over the head, too, and hard. She was bleeding, but only faintly. I grabbed the telephone. Come on.
Dr. Brinkley here?
Oh, Doctor, listen.
Yes?
This is Johnny Dollar. I'm over here at Mrs. Van Turkle's place.
Oh, yes, Johnny. She's a patient of mine.
Listen to me, Doctor, will you? Somebody got in here and hit her over the head, and she's in bad shape.
What?
I don't know whether she'll live.
I'll be there right away.
You better. Another call, this time to headquarters from Sergeant Harry Denning. He promised to send somebody pronto. Then, after throwing after him to Mrs. Van Turkle, I looked around. Finally, I found it in the library. The oil painting pushed aside. In back of it, the wall safe. Broken open and very empty. On the floor, a single ring that apparently had been dislodged in the setting. I dropped it in my pocket and made another phone call.
Hello?
Freddie, Johnny.
But where are you, Johnny? What happened? Didn't you go out there and pick her up?
Listen to me, Freddie.
Yeah?
How much did you say you insured the jewelry for?
Well, close to $1 million. Why?
You better get ready to send her a check.
What?
If she stays alive.
Thanks for the tip on old Van Turkle. I sent Mullins over there right away.
Well, good. I left as soon as the doctor got there.
Yeah, I talked with the doctor on the phone and sent an ambulance out. Mm-hmm. He's going to try, but he's not sure if he can pull her through.
Good. Listen, Harry.
Hey, that reminds me.
Yeah?
Yeah, an old friend of yours just left town only about an hour ago at our request.
Friend of mine? Who?
An old strong-arm by the name of William McPeak.
Willie? What?
Yeah, we helped him onto a train to New York.
Oh, fine.
Told him we just don't like his looks around here.
Harry, he's the man.
What?
Didn't you know? He's not only a strong-arm specialist, but he has enough raps against him for burglary to fill a book.
Well, our records here only show a couple of arrests over the years.
I don't care what they show, Harry. He's the one I found there at Mrs. Van Turkle's house, the one who belted me over the head.
Oh, and we helped him out of town.
You sure did.
Okay, Johnny, okay. I'll notify the New York Police Department right away to grab him for us.
If they can find him. And you know how long it'll take just to get the wheels turning, get all the red tape out of the way?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, brother. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can find him.
How, Johnny?
A little local knowledge, Harry.
About him?
About him and about some other people down there. I'll see you later. Item 2, 1045, plane fare to New York. And I was lucky. A flight took off just a few minutes after I got to Bradley Field. Item 3, in the big city, $4 even for a cab in to 18th Precinct headquarters. Before even talking to my old pal, Lieutenant Randy Singer, I appropriated a phone in the office next to his and made 5 calls to men who were always ready to dig up a little information from me for a price. Then I walked into Randy's office.
Okay. Now, what's it all about, Johnny? You can make all those calls to him there.
Randy, if I told you, you'd probably round them all up and toss them in a jug.
Oh, feelings, eh?
Right. And they're a lot more valuable to me on the loose.
Well, sure you hadn't better tell me who they are so we can, sort of protect them for you, you know? Departments can always use some extra talk as criminals, Johnny.
Randy, I'd rather not.
Okay, but stop tapping that diamond or whatever it is on the top of my desk, will you? Want to scratch the glass?
This diamond is what I came here about.
Well, Johnny, you sure couldn't have picked a better day than this to come down here and talk to me.
Why, what's that?
No, everything. Something's on our necks again. There's a lot of phony dough that's circulating around.
No?
This place is so darn good, it takes an expert to tell the bad 10s and 20s from the good ones.
How does it mean?
Yes and no. I mean, when you say rings, you're pretty up to those boys around here, Johnny. I mean, we've got a feel on almost all of them.
Almost.
Well, of course, the federal boys are beating their brains out, too, but what's happening is this.
Yeah?
Every time we knock over a print shop that's been making the stuff, we get there too late.
How do you mean?
Well, the place is gone. Been sold to someone else. And not just to another printer, Johnny. That we could track down real easy. I think, guys. I hope. But to some intermediary, some brain who plants them with another printer just long enough to get out a mixer and then pass them on to somebody else.
Maybe you better shut down every print shop in town, Randy.
Oh, sure. You know what it takes? Just one little crash tucked away in somebody's basement. City this size, it could be thousands of them. But the department's raising Cain, the feds are complaining we aren't cooperating, I feel lousy. And what's your problem?
Willie McKeith.
McKeith? Well, he hasn't been active for a long time.
Oh, he hasn't, huh?
Ambitious, Willie? Nah. Always on the way to something big and always ending up in the place.
Let me tell you now, Randy.
Excuse me. Yeah? No. We tried peddling goofballs for a while, Johnny. 2 years up the river. Tried bookmaking another term. Tried half a dozen rackets. Always fell on his face. The only thing he could seem to get away with was a burglary and safe job.
Well, he can't this time, so listen.
Now, look, Johnny, I'd like to help you, really. Will you stop tapping that thing?
Nearly $1 million worth of jewels.
I don't care if it's...
Down here? No, up in Hartford, but I need your help.
Well, Johnny, until we get official fix from the boys up there, you know how it is.
I mean, a little deal between you and me has to be official all of a sudden?
No, of course not. But will you stop scratching that diamond on the glass, huh?
Okay, Randy.
Well, wait. Yeah? This? Yeah. The you, Randy.
Oh? Johnny Dollar.
Spotty.
Oh, yes, Spotty.
Spotty who?
This number you give me headquarters.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's where I am. Go ahead.
You wouldn't pull one on me, Johnny.
Nah, Spotty, you know me better than that.
Yeah, I guess I do.
You got something for me?
Say, couple of C-notes, Johnny?
Let's say 100, Spotty. If it gets me anywhere, rings, too.
Okay. Just a couple of minutes ago with a briefcase on him.
Yeah.
718 East 49th.
I got it.
He pokes the buzzer for number 2A, and then he goes in.
2A, huh? Okay.
Now, what does that mean?
You know anybody who lives over on East 49th Street, Randy?
Did I?
I'll let you know.
Now, wait, Johnny. I thought you wanted some help.
I may not need it now.
Oh, no? Well, now, wait a minute. Maybe you...
$1 even for a cab with a musty 6-unit apartment building on East 49th Street. I quickly pushed the button for Mr. Apartment number 2A. They all must have been out here. The tenants were going out because nobody pushed open the lock on the front door for me. So I flipped the lock, and I quietly went inside and up the stairs to the door of 2A.
Nobody talks to them, Sam. What do you mean, give them back to you? You crazy or something? I give you the rec form, so now I'll keep them. Oh, yes, you gave me these, all right. Sure, I made a deal. I carried out my head, and now you want to work out on me? Keep your voice down, Willie. What are you trying to pull on me, huh? You want me to get rough? I said you will. These stones you broke. I'm telling you, Buster. All right, put down that gun. You listen to me, Willie. I warned you, Buster. Start.
All right, don't try it, Willie. Just drop your gun. Kick it over here. Come on.
Sure. Okay.
All right, now sit down over there against the wall. Let me take a look at you. Looks like you killed him, Willie.
Turn it back out on me.
But if you figure on keeping this mess of yours and whatever it was he gave you for them. What was it, Willie? What did he give you for them? Look, take a look at his briefcase here. Don't move, Willie.
Okay. You got the gun.
About as pretty a set of proclamation plans and flowers as I've ever seen. Brandy, this is Johnny again.
Johnny, where are you calling from?
718 East 49.
Well, listen, I just...
Apartment 2A.
There's a guy living over there we've been looking at for years.
There was, Randy.
Name of Horace Petersley. A passer of hot jewelry, that sort of stuff, you know? Only we never have been able to... Hey, what'd you say? What?
That's right, he's dead.
Okay, I'll be right over.
No, Randy.
What do you mean?
Send somebody else.
Well, now listen, Johnny, if you knocked him off, I mean, even...
Somebody else killed him, Randy. The punk I have sitting here at the other end of my gun.
Who?
You stay right there in your office, and I'll be along in a couple of minutes with the Van Terkel jewels and with Willie McPeak in tow.
You're kidding.
Not a bit.
And that's all the more reason I better get over there.
No, Randy, because while you're waiting for us, I want you to get hold of Fritz Melchior.
That, gemologist?
Yes. Tell him to get there immediately with all of his equipment.
Well, I don't get it, Johnny.
You will, Randy, you will. Item 4, another $1 for another cab. Luckily, by the time we got to headquarters, Melchior, the gemologist, was there and waiting. I handed him the Van Terkel jewels and told him to set up his equipment on Randy's desk and get to work.
Now, it's going to take the ultraviolet lamp a moment or two to get warmed up, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, that's perfectly all right, Mr. Melchior.
In the meantime, I'll just set up this retail refractometer and the microscope.
Just take your time.
But why can't we just book Willie and lock him up, Johnny? Conroy's going to get tired sitting there holding a gun on him.
Randy?
It's time to go.
And he sees what I think he's going to see. He wished that he had that gun to shoot himself with. Thanks to you, by the way.
What do you mean by that?
I remember, I think he got a little annoyed earlier when I sat here at the glass-top desk fooling around with the stone that Willie left behind at Mrs. Van Tipple's.
But sure, you kept tapping, and rubbing it over the glass, trying to scratch.
Just the point, Randy. Rubbing it on the glass, but not scratching. Johnny, tell me, is there a single scratch there?
No. No, Johnny, you're right. Son of a gun.
No, of course, it isn't absolutely conclusive. I make no bones about it. It didn't sink in at all while I was doing it. But when I heard the now deceased Horace Petersley back there in his apartment, when I heard him telling Willie that the deal was off to give him back the place, it suddenly dawned on me.
Yeah, so maybe we've got more crooks on this deal than we bargained for, huh? Too many crooks.
Mm-hmm. Including a little old lady who figured on collecting nearly $1 million on that stuff that Mr. Melchior is looking at.
Hey, now, listen, what do you mean by that? All right, hold it down.
Well, Mr. Melchior?
Gentlemen, there is no question about it.
Are you sure, sir?
I'm absolutely certain. Now, look here, please. Here too, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
You see, I used a polished piece of corundum. Now, does the so-called diamond stress it? No. The corundum wears away the stone. And here, the test with the refractometer is further proof.
With the what?
The refractometer. It measures the deviation from a straight line suffered by a ray of light in passing obliquely through various media of varying density. Now, look here, under the ultraviolet light. Now, you see?
Yeah, that's mighty pretty, Mr. Melchior.
Now, that is a genuine diamond, Lieutenant, that I brought along for comparison. But, now look at this one, under the black light. And this. And this. And this.
A lot of nothing by comparison.
Exactly.
In other words, Mr. Well, Joe, the supposedly precious jewels insured by Mrs. Van Turtle.
Quite so, Mr. Dollar. They're straps, safe, common glass. They're not valuable gems.
What are you, some kind of a nut?
Although some of them have been very cleverly cut.
No. Hang on, don't Conway. Wait a minute. Look. It ain't true. It's a lie. It ain't true. I took him out of that safe myself. I had to kill a man to make a deal with him. No, it ain't true.
True, all right, Willie.
And I've been robbed. Get him out of here, Conway. Lock him up. Right. Look, I've been robbed.
Well, Johnny, much as I hate to admit it, you've kind of done yourself a good day's work.
Well, of course, Willie helped a bit. Oh, sure. He got hold of those counterfeit plates for you, Randy, didn't he? And he took care of that Peterson character for you, too. So, Randy, why don't you be a nice guy and see that he doesn't get more than a couple of lifetimes. As for the phony jewels, well, old Mrs. Van Turtle was completely recovered from her beating, by the way. Get us straight. The real gems she always carefully kept in her vault in the bank. The paste that she had there in the wall safe were for casual wear. Expense account total, including the payoff to my friend Spotty, call it $250. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar is written by Jack Johnstone, produced and directed by Fred Hendrickson. Music supervision by Ethel Huber. Sound patterns by Walter Otto. Johnny Dollar is played by Mandel Kramer. Also featured in our cast were Court Denson, Jim Stevens, Tom Gorman, Jackson Beck, Sam Gray, Maurice Copland, and Bill Smith. Be sure to join us next week, same time, same station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Art Hannah speaking. Hear Coleman on Sports 10 times each weekend on the CBS Radio Network.
This is KRLD, AM and FM, Dallas.
Johnny Dollar.
I am thy father's spirit,
What?
doomed for a certain term to walk the night,
Well, good for you.
and for the days confined to fasting fires,
How about that?
till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away.
Bravo, Mr. Shakespeare. Now, why don't you just relax and enjoy it?
I wish I could, Johnny. This is Jack Price down here in Corpus Christi.
I thought I recognized those pear-shaped tones. How are you, Jackson?
Fair.
Why the long-winded quote from Act 1 of Hamlet?
Tell me, Johnny, do you believe in ghosts?
Are you kidding?
Not a bit. Because a lot of innocent people down here in Corpus are beginning to.
You are kidding.
No, sir.
How come?
Because of a so-called psychic medium who's moved in on us.
A medium? Hmm?
He's been holding seances, or whatever you call them, and making with the clairvoyance bit. He's a rare one, Johnny.
Now, which is it, Jack?
What?
Rare, medium, or maybe well done?
Well, the act he puts on is well done, all right.
Well, what's your worry about him?
He's costing us money.
How?
Come on down here, Johnny. I'll give you the story, and you can get to work on him, okay?
All right, Jackson. Why not?
The CBS Radio Network brings you Mandel Kramer in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Tri-Western Life Insurance Company office in Corpus Christi, Texas. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the medium rare matter. Expense account item 1, $132.15 for a cab to Bradley Field, then plane fare to Corpus Christi. Item 2 is $1.35 for the airport limousine to the Robert Driscoll Hotel, where I got myself a room, parked my luggage before walking over to Jack Price's office in the Katz building.
I'll bet you're tickled pink to get away from that cold New England winter weather,
That's the truest thing you ever said, Jackson. How are you?
Oh, fit to be tied, Johnny, on account of this so-called psychic medium.
Oh?
Sit down, I'll tell you all.
All right. Tell me, don't the police around here kind of frown on such? This one is a phony, isn't he?
Sure is. But somebody's got to prove it and put him out of business. Johnny, there are a lot of people who believe in spiritualism. But when a rank charlatan like this comes along...
Well, let's face it, Jack, you find them all over. They ought to be locked up, but they're usually too smart. Now, let's have the story.
Well, first off, he operates out beyond the city limits. That's why our Corpus Christi police are helpless.
Yep.
His name is Udi Vishnu.
Vishnu?
At least that's the name he uses. And you ask me, that Hindu or whatever it is accent he uses has a touch of Brooklyn in it.
No?
Phony, phony, phony. But they continue to fall for him. Knowledge of the past, present, and future. Mind-reading, message from the dead. Phooey.
You really don't like him, do you?
He's already cost us money.
Oh?
Unless you can stop him, he'll cost us a lot more. Us and a lot of other people. And that means a lot of heartbreak, too.
Don't tell me that he makes a charge for his meetings, seances, whatever you want to call them.
Too smart. He'd be up against the laws on fortune-telling. No, Johnny, all it takes is contributions. There's no law against that.
Just where and how does he operate?
A few miles out South Staple Street. You remember the place they call Ranch 66?
Wasn't that a gambling joint, among other things?
Well, they prefer to call it a roadhouse. Anyhow, on a side road ways beyond Ranch 66 is a little theater that's been empty for years. And now, all decked out in fresh paint, with a new facade, it's Udi Vishnu's Temple of the Living Truth. And, Johnny, every single night of the week, that place is packed with the poor suckers who think he's some kind of a new prophet.
He must be good.
He is. He's great. And, brother, you should see the money they lay on the drum.
Plenty,
Right. Including proceeds from the insurance policies they've been cashing in.
Ah, so that's where it hurts.
You bet it does. We've made a big thing over the years of insuring the little guy. The one that some of the big companies don't want to bother with. Policies for only $1,000 or $2,000. Don't you see, Johnny? Those are the people who need that insurance. And you've got to stop him.
Well, Jackson, I don't know.
You've got it, Johnny, before any more of these people get hurt. Every single night they're out there shelling out their dough to hear his glorified magic act. People from all over this part of the country.
Oh?
Yeah. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, wherever he's carefully planted his literature.
At least that brings some extra money into this thriving city of Corpus Christi.
Wrong. I forgot to tell you. The suckers don't know it, or if they do, they don't care. But he also owns a big old hotel that just happens to be only a block away from his temple. It's always jammed with his followers. This thing's been going on for over a month now, so he's really cleaning up. But mostly, of course, on the contributions.
I don't know, Jack. I mean, if he's not committing any actual crime...
I think he is.
What do you mean? What sort of crime?
Murder.
Murder?
Yeah. He's been getting his people his followers to name him as the beneficiary of their insurance. Not Temple, Johnny, but him.
Oh?
Yeah, and listen.
Go ahead.
In the last 2 weeks, for no apparent reason, and remember that.
Yep.
2 of our clients, both of them in good health, but neither of them wealthy or anything like that.
Yeah, go on.
For no apparent reason, they've been murdered. And the murders are unsolved.
And you think this Udi Vishnu did it? Now, wait.
No, he's too smart. But knowing his influence over his followers and their fanaticism, the way that some of them do anything for him, and I mean anything, Johnny, even murder. Well, what do you think? You want to look into it?
Looks like somebody better, doesn't it?
Good. Now, just how do you plan to start your investigation of this phony mystic, this Udi Vishnu?
Well, it seems to me, Jack, that it might be smart to go on out there to his temple and catch his act.
That's what I thought. So here, you better have this.
What's this?
An admission ticket.
You mean you have to have a reserved seat?
Sure do. And here you are, for row H, seat number 43.
Well, I thought you said there was no charge.
Well, there isn't. But you have to have a ticket or you'll never get in.
It's funny.
And most of them are handed out there at the Temple of the Living Truth Hotel. And just to make it look good, some of the small hotels and motels on the edge of town are giving a few ducats, too.
I see.
Anyhow, if you want to go tonight, here.
Okay, Jackson. Thanks. Item 3, $50 deposit on a rental car. By the time I'd got it and going back to the Robert Driscoll to freshen up, well, item 4 is $6.80 for a cocktail and a leisurely dinner. Then I drove out to the Temple of the Living Truth. Literally scores of people were standing around begging to be let in. But only those with tickets for reserved seats were admitted. And remember that. Reserved seats. The audience, or rather the auditorium, held something over 100 people. And the house was packed. The wide, shallow stage was hung with gray velvet drapes and was bare, except for a sort of reading stand or lectern. There were steps leading from the audience to stage center. And Jack had been right. Most of the people gathered there looked like rather poor folks. The very kind most likely to be taken in by this self-styled mystic. My ticket stub said the service would start at 8:30. At exactly 8:27, the lights were slowly dimmed except for a blue spotlight that shone on the lectern and on the steps that led up to it. And from somewhere came the recorded music of an organ. Low, haunting, mysterioso. The crowd grew silent. They all leaned forward expectantly. And then at 8:30 on the nose, from one side of the stage into the spotlight, glided Udi Vishnu. I'll say this for him. He cut a mighty impressive figure. He was tall, with curly chestnut hair and a smart short beard. Brown eyes that were set deep in their sockets, but that almost seemed to glow in the spotlight. His face rather pale and wan, like that of someone who has suffered. He wore a long gray robe bound in the middle by a cord that looked like gold. It reached to the tips of his gold-colored sandals. His hands were those of the artist, with long, slim fingers that barely gracefully curved as he gave the sign of a blessing. He simply stood there for a moment, his eyes raised upward, as a soft, almost imperceptible sigh passed through the crowd. Then he lowered his hand, and the music died out. As he looked out over the crowd, I realized that there was something almost magnetic in that gaze of his, almost hypnotic. Believe me, whatever it was, this man had it.
And do you believe? We believe. And do you believe in me? We believe. And do you know that I, and I alone, possess the infinite knowledge?
Yes, we know.
Of all things then, and now, and forever?
Yes.
Then you know, my children, that through me, you too can be possessed of supranormal, supernatural powers, can share my unification with the omnipotent consciousness that rules the cosmic destiny of all mankind. My bond with the supreme intelligence, and you can gain psychic powers beyond belief. Know all things about all people.
Yes.
Now, these tremendous forces lie dormant within you. They must be aroused and developed, as only I can show you how. If you will uphold me, not only in worldly things, but in things spiritual. If you will believe in me, and show me that you believe, your lives will be successful, full, and complete.
Yes.
You know this.
Yes.
Then be silent. As I close my eyes, as I concentrate on someone here I have never seen before, but who will be the first tonight to be relieved of all worldly cares, who is one of the elect to share with me the... Yes, Yes, I see now a number. The number H41.
Oh, it's me.
Really?
That's my ticket. My seat number. Oh, I'm sorry, mister. But see, it's the number of my seat.
Yes, I see, miss, but wait a minute. I mean...
Patience, my child, that I may speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In the eye of my mind, there comes a vision now. A farm in Oklahoma, near the town of
Yes, El Reno, yes. Oh.
And a little girl, perhaps 10 years old. Her name is Martha.
Oh, that's my name.
Martha Winter.
Yes.
And with her, a little dog.
The dog.
The dog she was not supposed to have. She never told her mother. His name was Skipper.
Skipper. I'd almost forgotten.
Then Martha's school. And Miss Albright.
My teacher. But how could he know?
Yes, who alone helped Martha decide not to run away from home.
It's true.
And now, when she got the call to come here to see me. But she left the car, an old one. It's blue.
He's right. He's right.
43U7418.
Oh, that's the license number. But it's back in Oklahoma.
Are you here, Martha?
Yes. All you said is true.
And do you believe?
Yes.
Do you all believe?
Yes.
You went on that way for 2 hours, telling people there in the audience all about themselves. Names, places, dates, intimate things about their faraway homes, their childhood friends, events in their lives that they themselves had almost forgotten. Believe me, it was impressive and very convincing. And when he promised eternal supernatural help for all those who would help him, well, brother, you should have seen the money pour into the collection baskets. After it was over, in the crowd outside, I talked with those people to find out how he had learned so much about them. But they'd only arrived that very day, that morning. And more important, not one of them had told anyone, not anyone, of the personal things that he had known. Who could blame them then for believing him, and for believing in him, and for going on back to their farms or whatever, convinced that thanks to him all their troubles were over and forever? And the next night there'd be another, a fresh mob there, to shell out their money for his phony promise of supernatural help. But how to stop him?
You know the only way, of course.
Do I, Jack?
Sure. Somehow prove to those followers of his how he actually does get all that information about him. But it's pretty fantastic, isn't it? He's never seen them before, doesn't even have any way of knowing they're going to be there.
Yeah, he's mighty convincing.
And what he does is just plain impossible. But until you or I or somebody can duplicate his act and tell him it's all a phony. But how? Even Houdini or Thurston or Blackstone or any other magician would have to take a back seat to this punk.
Wait a minute, Jackson.
Yeah?
Reserved seats.
Huh?
And one of those names you mentioned, a magician, years ago when he set out to expose the phony mediums.
What are you talking about?
In all the big cities where he played, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, all the big towns. But this one, this Udi Vishnu, plays to the country folks who couldn't have known about that magician's expose.
Look, will you please tell me...
Jackson, I think I can do it.
Yeah?
Get some tickets for tonight's performance and drag in all the state or county authorities, whoever has jurisdiction, all of them that you can. Also, somebody from one of the news services.
What are you going to do, Johnny?
See if I can prove once and for all that this big mystic is just one big mistake. The next few hours were about the busiest I ever spent. First of all, through a contact there in Corpus Christi, whose name I had better not mention, I got the answer to the one key question in my mind. amount of the latest monthly phone bill paid by the Temple of the Living Truth Hotel. Then, on the excuse that I wanted a reservation for the night, I paid a visit to the hotel. Needless to say, all the rooms were taken, but I sneaked a good long look at the register, and sure enough, beside the name of each guest were the two things I needed to know: home address and ticket number for the night's meeting. Only let's call it performance now. Then back in town, I ran up item 4, $121 in telephone calls. I know, a lot of calls, but very necessary ones. Then, I don't know where and how Jackson got the tickets, but he did. And there in the audience with us were 6 or 7 state and county cops, out of uniform and looking fresh off the farm, and 2 reporters from the National News Services. Again, the house was full. Again, the dim lights and organ music. Again, the opening preliminaries.
Do you believe? We believe. And do you believe in me?
We believe.
And do you know that I alone possess the infinite knowledge?
Yes, we know.
Of things then and now and forever?
Yes, yes, yes.
Then when he had him in the mood, and again I say it was pretty impressive, then he began his demonstration. He was every bit as good as he'd been the night before, and by the end of an hour he had them with him all the way. Finally came the break that I'd been waiting for when he called out one of the numbers on the list that I had compiled.
And I see another number in the eye of my mind. Number L13.
Hey, that's me. It's my seat number.
Then listen, my brother, while I tell you of the wondrous things I know through the psychic powers that have been granted me.
Yes.
That have made you one of the elect.
No, let me tell him.
What's this?
Hey, Johnny, what's here? Throw him out.
Wait. Be silent, my children. And who are you, my brother?
I was here last night. Don't you see you've inspired in me the same powers that you have?
The same powers?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Seat number L13. Have you ever seen me before?
No, I haven't.
Wait, my children.
Of course you haven't, nor have I ever seen you before, but that doesn't keep me from knowing all about you.
Please.
About the same kind of trickery that this Uri Vishnu has been using on you.
Do not listen to him.
Number L13. Your name is Martin Mefford. You came from Cotton Valley, Louisiana, car license number CFU 160. You're a plumber's helper, right?
Yes.
Oh, no.
He has to give.
Please do not listen to this man.
Mr. Mefford, you walk with a limp because you broke your leg when you were 6 years old when Tommy Parkins shoved you out of a tree.
True.
Do not listen to this
Your
man.
teacher in the first grade, Miss Brewster, she promised you a book if you'd stop chewing your nails. Is that a fact?
Yes. How do you know? I've forgotten it myself.
I know by the same trick this crook has been using.
My children,
Seat number C41, Mrs. Nathan Parry.
Yes.
Your maiden name was Wilma Leonard. You were born in Ashburton. You ran away to Austin when you were 14, and a little secret in your life. Well, listen, and I'll tell you.
No. Stop this man. Stop him. Stop him.
By the time I got through telling some of those people stuff that even Uri Vishnu hadn't found out about them, and some of it was pretty personal, they fairly tore the place apart. Then when Uri dragged a gun from under his robes to protect himself and pulled off a couple of shots, well, then the police moved in. As for the radio newspaper story that followed, well, believe me, Uri Vishnu, whose real name turned out to be Bernie Bildrick, won't try that caper again, even if he does get out of a pen.
But you still haven't told me how you got all that dope on those people, and in only a matter of hours, Johnny.
Same way he did, Jack.
And some of it pretty intimate stuff, too, and stuff they couldn't have told you because they'd forgotten about it. What's more, you'd never seen him before. How, Johnny?
Look, the tickets were free, but all the seats were numbered, reserved. Now, there had to be a reason, Jackson. That's what reminded me of the famous magician, the trick that he'd used up in New York.
Yeah?
He'd call the ticket agency, the hotel, find out the name and address of a guest who'd bought a ticket to his show.
Well, down here, of course...
All I had to do was look at the register, right there at the Temple of the Living Truth Hotel.
Which will soon be out of business, I promise
all
you.
Right. Having seat number, name, and home address, I got on the phone. That Mr. Martin Mefford from Cotton Valley, Louisiana. I called the police chief there and the mayor. On the information they gave me, I called his old school teacher, 2 cousins, a couple of boyhood pals, an old girlfriend. Jackson, by the time I got through, I knew more about him than he did about himself, and the same with the others.
Well, I'll be darned.
So, that's that.
You certainly proved your point.
Point?
Big mystic? No. Big mistake.
Whether they can pin the 2 murders on him that Jack told me about remains to be seen. That's up to the authorities and out of my hands now. Expense account total, $465.30. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, here is our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, a nice, quiet little town in South Jersey that doesn't stay that way for long. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is written by Jack Johnstone, produced and directed by Bruno Zerato, Jr., music supervision by Ethel Huber. Johnny Dollar is played by Mandel Kramer. Featured in our cast were Maurice Tarplin as Jack Price, Dan Arco as Udi Vishnu, Evelyn Juster as the first woman, Bill Lipton as Martin Mefford, Tony Darnay as the second woman. Also heard in our cast were Guy Rep and Sam Raskin. Be sure to join us next week, same time, same station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Art Hanna speaking. The #1 network for news, expanded CBS News on the CBS Radio Network.